Part 34. Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Buletin Shi Swan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 335. At the end of the concert, the cheers from the scene lasted for a long time. Pattering. The rain kept falling, drenching Gu Huiyan and many infield spectators. At this time, many outfield spectators would not envy the infield, because the outfield stands were actually somewhat obscured, but the infield. Pure rain. Today's weather forecast said it would rain, so some viewers actually prepared umbrellas, but the vast majority of the viewers had no idea, so many people were soaked in the rain. There were no raincoats prepared for everyone at the concert. After all, although the single cost of this thing is not high, if there are too many people, 20,000 to 30,000 people, it will not be a small sum. Fortunately, it wasn't raining heavily. It was raining a little harder when Gu Huiyan sang the climax of Suddenly Miss You So Much. After that, it was just drizzle, so you don't have to worry about it. It is worth mentioning that at the end of the concert, a staff member came on stage to give Gu Huiyan an umbrella. Gu Huiyan subconsciously took it over at that time, but when he walked to the edge of the stage and saw many audience members standing in the rain, he felt that it was a bit awkward for him to hold an umbrella alone on the stage. Want an umbrella? He happened to catch a glimpse of the girl who came to wreak havoc by claiming to be a Beijing fan. She was wearing a bit thin clothes, so Gu Huiyan handed her his umbrella casually. Many people at the scene were moved. Let's just say that Gu Huiyan really knows how to take care of the audience's feelings. Many people are getting wet at this time. If he holds an umbrella on the stage by himself, no one will say anything, but there will always be some imbalance in his heart. And his move of giving his umbrella to the audience seemed very heartwarming, and it immediately put everyone in balance. He always uses practical actions to tell everyone that even a star or an artist is nothing too delicate, and he will still be exposed to the rain when he should. Ding, the host has successfully grounded himself and gained exposure, system points add 91x10. Crotch ran. Some viewers also noticed that the person Gu Huiyan gave the umbrella to was the Beijing fan who just ruined the place. At that time, some viewers couldn't help but say, he will also take special care of her fans. Sometimes, you really have to admire this old man, he is really thin. Brother. Occasionally, Gu Huiyan's staff will shout helplessly and anxiously, let's just say that this guy really doesn't care about his own image, okay. Don't talk about the rain, that will ruin your makeup. Let's talk about his hairstyle. It took nearly 2 hours to do this hairstyle today. The hairstylist wanted to do it one by one. He did a good job with his hair, not caring that it would get wet if it rained. Just now when I sang Suddenly Miss You So Much, my hair got a lot wet. Now I gave him an umbrella and he gave it away. What's the matter, do I really not want any image anymore? Sometimes, they also love and hate Gu Huiyan's down-to-earth attitude. Sure enough, Gu Huiyan cannot be treated as an ordinary artist. A very funny thing is that a staff member later gave an umbrella to Gu Huiyan, and then Gu Huiyan gave it to the audience below, which made the staff furious. Another very funny thing is that when Gu Huiyan threw umbrellas to the audience, a girl called him, I want your coat. As soon as the words fell, oh! There was a roar nearby. In live performances, many celebrities like to take off their clothes when they are singing or having fun. The clothes they wear, which are worth tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, are basically thrown away. The appearance fee at the venue is not necessarily as expensive as throwing away clothes. This causes some viewers who often go to live houses to occasionally shout that they want your clothes. When the atmosphere is up, some artists will indeed take off their clothes on the spot without refusing. They actually won't suffer if you take it off. Can you believe that if you take it off like this, the atmosphere at the scene will be directly ignited? Gu Huiyan has been singing live before and got high, but it seems that he has never done it before, taking off his clothes and throwing them to everyone. He was suddenly asked by the audience, and some fans thought it was quite new. But do you know how Gu Huiyan, the old man, reacted? He looked down at his clothes, and then immediately said with a baby expression on his face, "I can't give you this, it's too expensive." As soon as these words came out, puff. Ha ha ha. It made many audience members burst into laughter. There is a saying that Gu Huiyan, the old man, is really real. He simply said that the transparent umbrella just cost 10 yuan and it didn't matter if he threw it away. No one would give one to me and I could afford it. But that piece of clothing is really expensive. Even if he doesn't change clothes frequently, Gu Huiyan's singing is still sponsored by clothing. When you look at the white coat Gu Huiyan is wearing, it looks like an ordinary style, but it is actually worth several W. Normally, Gu Huiyan would never wear such expensive clothes. MD was afraid of getting them dirty when he went out. But for performances, you have to wear some costumes. This kind of clothes is the kind that Gu Huiyan is reluctant to wear. Now you ask him to take it off and throw it to the audience. What a joke. I can't afford to give it away, okay. Gu Huiyan really didn't throw away big name jackets worth more than 10 W at the performance like those little fresh meats. Ha ha ha. While the audience laughed, they felt that Gu Huiyan was too real. Although they didn't get his clothes, everyone was not unhappy. Instead, they felt that Gu Huiyan's doing so had narrowed the distance between him and them. Besides, after all, they are other people's clothes. Why do you ask others to throw clothes to you? You are a star, so they don't owe you anything. Ding, the host successfully grounded himself and gained exposure, system points add 91x10. After making a few jokes, Gu Huiyan unknowingly heated up the scene that had been so moved by singing "Suddenly Miss You So Much" just now. It is worth mentioning that, perhaps it was the strong emotional resonance or the blessing of the stage lighting effects. In short, the moment Gu Huiyan finished singing "Suddenly Miss You So Much," in the hearts of many people, this song was already comparable to "Sunny Day" is comparable. You know, in the minds of everyone, almost everyone, among all Gu Huiyan's works, "Sunny Day" has an unshakable position. Even if Gu Huiyan has recently released many popular works, "Sunny Day" will always be the pinnacle in their hearts. But today, there is a song that can rival "Sunny Day." It is enough to prove that at this moment, this song brings them a shock. And Gu Huiyan seems to be able to always penetrate the hearts of the audience and fans. Look. After singing "Suddenly Miss You So Much," the moment everyone thought of "Sunny Day," when the staff came on stage and took off his electric guitar and handed him an acoustic guitar. Pattering. It was still raining. Gu Huiyan stood in the drizzle and straightened his ears. Ahem. He coughed first, attracting everyone's attention. Feel this situation. At this time, everyone's eyes were focused on him. Everyone must have thought that what he was going to say was the title of the next song. There were still people guessing what he was going to sing. After all, he said this situation and this scene, so it must be related to rain. There are not many works related to rain in Gu Huiyan's works. Apart from the well-known "Sunny Day," the most recent ones are You Still Afraid of Heavy Rain and Stranded. But who would have known that after This Is the Scene, when everyone was guessing the title of the song, Gu Huiyan, the old man, would actually say something with a mean expression on his face. I want to recite a poem. Puff. As soon as these words came out, they immediately aroused a wave of disgust from the audience. MD, you are a bastard. The labor and management have been waiting for you for a long time in vain. In what era are you still playing with this nonsense? Isn't it disgusting? Hey. If you can't sing, just go down and put on the accompaniment and we can sing by ourselves. That is. Although there are a lot of scoldings, Many people have to admit that the best match for this situation and this scene seems to be that sentence. Recite a poem. This is Te Niang's joke, it's so bad. Gu Huiyan has been here for so long, why can't he get rid of his habit of being the king of bad jokes? Haha, just a joke. Suddenly, Gu Huiyan, the old man, seemed very happy. Amidst the cries of disgust, he smiled and told everyone. In this situation, we should indeed sing a song related to rain. I think if I play the intro to this song, you should all know it. His words fell. Ding ding dong dong. Familiar melodies that seemed to be engraved in everyone's DNA came out from Gu Huiyan's guitar, and quickly echoed in everyone's ears through the live speakers. But see you. All the viewers who were madly complaining about Gu Huiyan as the king of bad jokes just now, at that moment. Ah! Goosebumps immediately spread all over my body, and we started shouting like crazy. Sunny. It's sunny day. The little yellow flower of the story. As the most popular song among all Gu Huiyan's works, it is also the most unquestionable song in the entire Chinese music scene of Shark Madness. It is also a song that represents the youth of countless people. Gu Huiyan doesn't even need to know how to sing Sunny Day. He opens his mouth and everyone can sing it. Ah! He really understands the audience. I cried to death. Many people happen to think of Sunny Day just at this time when it was raining and after singing Suddenly Miss You So Much. Gu Huiyan then sang Sunny Day. God knows how exciting it was when the chorus came, when it was drizzling in the venue, and the whole audience sang the chorus. Come together. During the chorus, Gu Huiyan started and everyone sang together. On a windy day, I tried to hold your hand. But unfortunately, the rain gradually hit me until I saw that you were gone. How long will it take until I can be by your side? Maybe I'll be better off when the weather clears up. Once upon a time, there was someone who loved you for a long time. But unfortunately, the wind gradually blew away the distance. Finally, I can love you one more day. But at the end of the story, you seem to have said bye-bye. The timing of Sunny Day is perfect. Many people thought that Gu Huiyan would sing it at the end. After all, the last line of the song "but it seems you said goodbye" at the end of the story can be regarded as an exit. But taking it out now, it doesn't seem to be inconsistent when the midfield is the hottest. However, everyone was a bit surprised that Gu Huiyan basically sang all the most popular songs, so what should he sing in the second half? What will be the finale songs? So far, this concert has been a high-flying show, but don't let it end badly. After listening to Sunny Day, there is another point that the audience is very curious about, and that is, after singing Sunny Day, the scene was very hot. What song should I sing next to capture this scene? It is precisely because Sunny Day is almost an unsolvable song in the minds of all audiences and fans, so they feel that it is most suitable to be used as an exit, because almost no song can catch up with the scene after it. Everyone can understand that Gu Huiyan sang Sunny Day after Suddenly Miss You So Much, because it seems that only Sunny Day can catch up with Suddenly Miss You So Much. But here comes the question, which song can match Sunny Day? A few more lively songs such as Reverse War are fine, but it's a pity that they were sung earlier. Next song. Hurry up, next song. Maybe it was because of too much anticipation and excitement. When Gu Huiyan just finished singing Sunny Day, many people were shouting for the next song. Gu Huiyan was so stunned that he couldn't help but complained. No, I just finished singing. You asked me to take a break. I finally took a drink of water and haven't even taken a breath yet. Haha. The audience was all happy. What was funny was that at this moment, the Beijing fan who had ruined the scene before, the girl to whom Gu Huiyan just gave her an umbrella, actually shouted. The donkeys in the production team don't dare to rest like this. Gu Huiyan. At that time, Gu Huiyan had a question mark. Puff. Ah ha ha ha. Many in the audience also laughed like crazy, and people around them gave the girl a thumbs up. This girl is really brave. She came here to train Gu Huiyan in the military. Gu Huiyan couldn't help but add. You are really that white-eyed wolf who feeds on unfamiliar people. Give me your umbrella when I get it. I've been soaked in the rain for a long time. Ha ha ha. The audience burst into laughter again. The rain was not heavy, just a drizzle, but it didn't work for a long time. Gu Huiyan's hair was much wet. Fortunately, the rain is getting lighter and lighter, and it seems to be stopping. I really have to go down and change my clothes after singing another song. Gu Huiyan glanced at his very wet coat. Because it was a performance, he didn't wear it too thickly. The coat was already almost wet. If it gets wet again, the inside will be soaked. When he said this, Gu Huiyan had already taken off the guitar he was carrying. Because he was talking to the audience at that time, Gu Huiyan didn't even notice when the staff who came up to pick up the guitar came up. Since he had already taken off the guitar, the staff must have gone straight to get it. When Gu Huiyan noticed it, he felt his hands were light. He was stunned for a moment while he was talking to the audience, and then his actions moved many people. But when he reacted, he almost immediately made a thank you gesture to the staff, then looked at the other person's face and patted the other person's shoulder. This action was done in one go, as if it was muscle memory. Although it was done very quickly, after finishing the work, I immediately went to talk to the audience again, but the subconscious reaction and respect for the staff still made many people feel quite touched. Someone recorded this scene. In fact, no matter how the internet evaluates Gu Huiyan's character, fans and audiences will always see him as a music king with both virtue and art. It is indeed admirable that Gu Huiyan at this age has such a warm and subconscious reaction to the staff. It is worth mentioning that when he went to the piano, there were staff members helping to wipe away the water. Gu Huiyan's behavior was similar to the one before, he was very polite and polite. As for this song, I think you will be quite excited when you hear the title. After hitting the keys a few times to straighten his ears, Gu Huiyan chuckled and spoke to the audience. At that time, many people were still asking questions, wondering what song title could excite them as soon as they heard it. Then Gu Huiyan said, "This song is called If I Lose You, So What If I Win the World?" The moment he finished speaking, there was silence for a while. Immediately afterwards, "Oh, oh, oh my God." The entire scene, with a total of 20,000 to 30,000 spectators inside and outside the stadium, almost unanimously started shouting collectively. It's funny, because Gu Huiyan just said that they will get excited when they hear the title of this song. Many people are still thinking, I will definitely not get excited, I will definitely be reserved. But as soon as the title of the song came out, they really didn't hold back. Please. Although I have never heard of this song, listen to the title. How romantic. Hey. Let's just say that Gu Huiyan, this old guy, is really good at sensationalism. Just listen to the titles of the 3 songs he sang in this scene. If I Can, Suddenly Miss You So Much, What If I Lose and Win the World? These songs can make fans excited as soon as they hear the song titles. They are all very romantic song titles. The key is that the first 2 songs are very nice and fit their stories. When listening to them, everyone can think of Gu Huiyan and Pei Jingshu. So now this song, which has a bigger name than the previous 2 songs, So What If You Lose and Win the World, will not move them any worse than the first 2 songs. Just thinking about this. Ah! Many people couldn't help shouting again. In the entire stadium, just because of Gu Huiyan's song title, everyone became agitated again, and they couldn't calm down. I just want Gu Huiyan to sing quickly, you idiot. Hurry up. Hurry. Stop inking. Hurry. Come. Come quickly. Waiting for you. Can't you hurry up? Hey. Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Buletin Shi Swan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 336. Band teacher, come on. Probably all the band teachers at the concert were waiting for Gu Huiyan's signal. His piano, strings, bass, drums, and other instruments poured in at almost the same time. Like hundreds of rivers rushing into the sea, at that moment, it gave all the audience an unprecedented experience. Oh! There were constant cheers at the scene. Different from the previous songs, this song gave people a very grand feeling in its arrangement. It was played with an electric guitar, which directly enhanced the atmosphere. One thing to say, after Sunny Day just now, many people are still thinking about what kind of song can catch up with Sunny Day. Looking at it now, just looking at the prelude, it seems that this song is indeed qualified to take on that extremely hot scene. It is worth mentioning that during the performance, next to Gu Huiyan and his piano, a team of harmony teachers came up with microphones. Oh, his team is really professional. Some people say that Gu Huiyan's team is so professional, and there's really nothing wrong with that. In terms of concert lineup, whether it is the a cappella band lineup at the opening of Missing is a Disease, the high chair and guitar teacher lineup when singing Ordinary Friends, or the current piano, harmony teacher lineup. These are relatively classic and professional lineups that have appeared on various stages. When those vocal teachers are with Gu Huiyan, you will feel that the enjoyment of the entire stage has been raised to a higher level. Today, Gu Huiyan is finally no longer alone. He has his team, his band, his harmony teacher, and his staff. Finally, I don't have to be alone with the same instrument like this year's Qingtai New Year's Eve. It is precisely for this reason that the shock brought by various stage effects and musical instruments will make many people excited. Music always has the ability to arouse people's emotions. Even the performer Gu Huiyan couldn't help but feel a little excited. He was obviously a little cold because he was wet from the rain just now, and the cold wind blew. Now the coldness has completely dissipated, and he is even a little excited and feverish. My crotch is burning, maybe I have a fever, haha. Anyway, this is what happened next. Now, in Gu Huiyan's eyes, this show must be done well. In the haze. It's as if I see your face again. The eyes still have a hint of sadness, flickering in and out. Just pretend it's all a dream. No better than covering up my fault. With a helpless smile, there is no need to look for reasons to be strong. When playing and singing, the camera will show Gu Huiyan's hands playing the piano. When they see those hands playing the piano on the big screen, many viewers can't help but think. You can say that Gu Huiyan is peaceful, you can say that Lao Lu's hands have never done anything good, but you really have to admit that when he plays the piano, his hands are still very ornamental. You can see his hands moving back and forth between the black and white keys, playing beautiful notes one after another, and accurately delivering them to the ears of every audience. Looking at those hands and listening to the sound of the piano is already a kind of enjoyment, right? Not to mention, Gu Huiyan's voice is so magnetic. One thing to say, many old fans who witnessed Gu Huiyan coming here really have to admire this old SIX's voice. In the year when his first album just became popular, he did countless performances. Ordinary singers can perform at such a high frequency. Under the performance, it would be good if you can maintain your peak condition without losing your voice. But throughout this journey, Gu Huiyan's voice condition has not declined, and every performance seems to give people a feeling of continuous improvement. This is terrible. Some people have made related videos on the internet before, comparing Gu Huiyan's early singing skills and timbre with today's. Obviously the audience at the time thought it was already very good, but in the video, compared with now, it seems a little green. Doesn't this mean that he has been improving over the years? He must be practicing his voice very hard. The sound of this concert was in very good condition, and the high notes came at every turn. From the beginning of the concert to the middle of the concert, he never escaped from any high notes. But I have never handed the microphone over several times when the sound was high. Even so, his voice was not tired at all. With a voice like this, the audience is very satisfied. Crotch ran, if they knew that this good voice was systematically enhanced by Gu Huiyan before the performance, their mentality would probably be shattered, right? Let it hurt my chest day and night. It makes my eyes unfocused. Tears blur my vision. Mixing, vibrato, weak voice, nasal resonance. If you look closely at Gu Huiyan singing, there are really too many details. Some fans said that you can always trust Gu Huiyan's singing skills. He is definitely a master of singing skills in the Chinese music industry. He has such a good voice and can skillfully use various vocal techniques. He is simply a walking CD. Vocal music textbook, okay. Certainly. From the perspective of the current audience, when you praise a certain singer for his singing skills, if you ask them to say something, they will definitely comment. No matter how good he sings, it's useless. It's just about showing off his skills. He sings without emotion. Emotion. I don't know when a group of dogs started to appear. Singers who use a lot of skills during performances will almost always be criticized by them for singing without emotion. Let's not talk about whether this group of people is right or not, but let's talk about their purpose of doing this. Do you know who they are? Many of them are fans of those little fresh-faced singers who sing poorly and are embarrassed. Their brother has no singing skills and has never taken any professional vocal lessons. He is basically at the KTV level. They also know that his brother is not good at singing, but there is nothing they can do. He has to be licked and coaxed. How to praise it? I can only praise you for singing with emotion. For example, those grandsons, Zay, who sing crying songs have no skills, they are all emotions. But it's not enough for them to praise, they want others to praise too. Therefore, they will step on all those singers who like to show off their skills, step on them, and leave everyone with the established impression that singers who like to show off their skills have no emotions when singing. If you want us to say that you sing, you can't have too many skills without feelings. You have to use the most original voice to directly touch people's hearts. Like Argagi, he never uses any tricks. Are you saying he has no skills? No. He has. He just doesn't have to. He just wanted to use the most direct voice to impress people. Sing this thing. Without skills, how can there be emotion? Emotions always need to be expressed with skills, because no matter what, as long as there are people watching the singing, it is a performance, and performances need to be expressed. Can you tell me that when the director asked you to say your lines when you were filming, you glared at the opponent actor and said that he should understand my feelings with just one look from me? Aren't you farting? When you watch Gu Huiyan's live performance, it is precisely because of his skills that he absolutely dominates the high ground, so the sound surrounding the entire scene gives people an emotional feeling. At this moment, the audience just wanted to say, this is a singing performance in the true sense, okay. And when it came to the chorus, the shock that Gu Huiyan brought to them could not be expressed in words. Dong dong. At that time, during an interlude, Gu Huiyan stood up from the piano and took out the microphone from the stand. At that time, some people had a premonition that Gu Huiyan was going to hit a high note, but they still didn't expect that he opened his mouth and said everyone got goosebumps. He took a deep breath, held the microphone, and sang with high energy. I lost you. So what if we win the world? The dream you once longed for. I guess I'll never understand me. Losing you. I won everything but still feel so deserted. But who can make me fall in love? Except you. Ah. At the scene, when Gu Huiyan just sang the 3 words lose you, there was already a chorus of shouts. Oh my god. I have goosebumps. Ah. He is so good at singing. There are all kinds of amazing sounds, and almost everyone laments that the high energy treble brings the most intuitive shock. Someone said. A famous scene. This is definitely a famous scene. Tonight, Gu Huiyan has contributed too many famous scenes to everyone. Among them, the scenes that have impressed you most so far are the scenes of the adapted version of Missing You Is a Disease and the new song Suddenly Miss You So Much singing violently in the rain. And now the chorus of What If You Lose and Win the World. When Gu Huiyan said this song title, many people were actually thinking, how would Gu Huiyan sing this line? It is not a bit weak like the previous two new songs Suddenly Miss You So Much and If I Can. It is a very hard and grand song title. If used as lyrics, it will be easily dismissed if the song is not sung well. Squirting. But it turned out that they really worried too much. How could Gu Huiyan not know how to sing this line, if I lose you, what if I win the world? He chose to sing very hard. You can see that he stood up when the chorus came. Although you can hit high notes while sitting, you can better use Danshan Chi by standing up. When he hit a high note, he raised his head, and the moment the camera focused on his neck, you could still see the veins on his neck. These are all details. To be honest, Pei Jingshu is not here, otherwise this green vein control would not be able to reject the scene just now. Oh, God. During the singing of the song So What If You Lose and Win the World, most people had goosebumps from the beginning to the end. There is a saying that the charm of live house performances really lies in these high-energy moments, and the most charming time for a singer is always when he hits the high notes. Many viewers can't help but want to say that striking high notes really shouldn't be labeled as showing off skills. If someone has skills, let them show off. If you don't let me show off, they will just moan or sing rappers without any reason. Why not show off your skills? Perhaps. The live effect of this song So What If You Lose or Win the World was so explosive and the stage effect was so good that the audience was almost completely immersed in the shock brought by this song, immersed in the music that brought it to them for the first time. In their feelings. I almost forgot to pay attention to the lyrics of this song and the connection between Gu Huiyan as a singer and the lyrics. Look. When the concert ends. Ah. Gu Huiyan. Gu Huiyan. Almost the entire audience was wild and waving their light sticks wildly. The most terrible thing is the infield. Over the guardrail closest to the stage, a group of security guys can hardly hold anyone down. Just now, Gu Huiyan joked that they were like zombies, but now it was really zombies coming out of the cage. The audience in the front row was so excited that they were almost rushed by the security brother, broke through the guardrail, came up, and were thrown into the sky by Gu Huiyan. Don't get excited, are you all so wild? Gu Huiyan was dumbfounded. He wanted to say that this song is not a stimulant. Are you so excited? That, security brother, remember to protect me. Gu Huiyan immediately showed a cowardly look and called the security brother for personal protection, and moved a little away from the stage. It would be a disaster if MD got too close and was rushed. Ha ha. The audience laughed, and the scene was actually filled with cheers. Breaking through the guardrail was actually just a joke. Huh, let me change my clothes. The rain has stopped, but Gu Huiyan's clothes are really wet. If it continues, they will be soaked. It's so cold in winter. If you catch a cold when the wind blows, it will be more than worth the gain. So Gu Huiyan had no choice but to say hello to the audience and go down to change clothes first. Good. We will wait for you. Many viewers are quite understanding. Gu Huiyan is really dedicated. The concert has been going on for almost an hour now, and this is the first time to change clothes. And it didn't take long for him to change clothes, only 2 or 3 minutes at most. He hurriedly came up wearing a white, fluffy, and feather-decorated coat. What's funny is that the Pei Jingshu fan who caused trouble before, the girl who gave Gu Huiyan an umbrella, shouted when he came back. Are you so fast? Gu Huiyan. At that time, Gu Huiyan was full of questions. What did you want to say? What is fast? Puff. Ah ha ha ha. Many people who heard this at close range laughed like crazy. You really can't talk about speed with a man. It's really easy for people to misunderstand if you say he is too fast. Of course, the funniest thing is Gu Huiyan's expression. He really looks like he's been fed a mouthful of mosaics. Please. In order not to keep the audience waiting, he hurriedly went down, changed his clothes, and came back in a hurry. He didn't even blow his hair, let alone put on makeup. He even came up carrying his old actor gray peaked cap. He was so sincere. Sincerely, someone backhanded him and said, "Are you so fast?" At that moment, Gu Huiyan felt that he had been insulted. The crux of the matter is that there seems to be nothing wrong with the words themselves. Gu Huiyan can't refute it yet. Fork out. Gu Huiyan also got up, pointed at the woman and called security brother. Get her out. Umbrella. Remember to leave the umbrella for me. His defensive expression once again made many people laugh. Ah ha ha ha. The whole place burst into laughter. It is worth mentioning that Gu Huiyan had a chicken feather stuck in the breast pocket of his clothes. It was just a decoration. The clothes were from a clothing brand sponsored by the concert. They were mid to high end. Gu Huiyan rarely wore such expensive and flashy clothes. He also had a picture of being careful not to get dirty. Looks like. And what a coincidence, the camera on the big screen gave a close-up of the chicken feathers on his chest. At that time, there was a big brother in the front row who didn't hold back and shouted. I went to the banquet alone and dressed up in chicken feathers, but all my brothers dressed up in chicken feathers. As soon as the words fell. Puff. Ha ha ha. Goose. Everyone at the scene laughed like crazy. It seems that many people are displeased by the chicken feather on Gu Huiyan's chest. To be precise, they are displeased by the dress. You said they and Gu Huiyan are not familiar with each other? Did we forget that your boy usually wears big pants and flip-flops or something? Yes, you have a concert, but don't dress so flashy. What the hell is this feathery costume? Goose. The audience burst out laughing. Gu Huiyan was so angry that he shouted "Get out" 3 times in a row, and the security brother almost couldn't reach him. It's funny, right? Gu Huiyan's concert was almost like a talk show. Many people laughed so hard that they could hardly breathe. After the laughter, Gu Huiyan was walking back and forth on the stage with his mobile phone in hand. Dong dong. When passing by the band teacher, Gu Huiyan glanced at him, and the teacher in charge of the keyboard played a melody that seemed strange to everyone, but also very familiar. This is. Many people didn't know which song it was at first, until on the big screen, the title of the song Tenderness appeared. Oh! The voice at the scene gradually became stronger. Obviously, this melody was specially adapted by Gu Huiyan for the concert. The lights in the stadium gradually dimmed, leaving only the light on the stage. The atmosphere of the scene became stronger and stronger because of the light of the fluorescent sticks. I haven't looked at the stars for a long time. Let's look at the stars. Gu Huiyan held the microphone, raised his head, and looked at the sky. It was sheer fart to say that you could see stars immediately in the sky that had just rained, so everyone saw nothing when they raised their heads. But everyone suddenly understood the reason why Gu Huiyan turned off most of the lights in the venue. People who watch the starry sky should know that only by turning off the lights can you enjoy the most perfect starry sky. Before everyone could wonder why Gu Huiyan asked everyone to look at the stars even though he knew there were no stars in the sky, he shook his cell phone in his hand and asked, "Do you have your cell phones? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth." Author, Buletin Shi Swan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 337. Did you bring your cell phones? He asked suddenly. Many people were still a little confused, but they still answered subconsciously. Have. I definitely brought it. You're telling me, can I live without it? Who doesn't go out with a mobile phone these days? Take it out. This answer must have been expected, so Gu Huiyan smiled and shook the phone in his hand. With that touching melody filling the entire scene, he said. Call. The person you like. The slight pause and the smile when saying the person you like inexplicably made some viewers feel very emotional. Oh. The voice at the scene began to gradually become stronger. No one at any time can resist this extremely romantic scene. He said let them call, the person they like. The most terrible thing is that he also said. I sang tenderness to him. Ah. Although, at this moment, the stage does not have the kind of chorus like Sunny Day and Reverse War before, nor is it as exciting as the new songs Suddenly Miss You and So What If You Lose or Win the World. It is very quiet. Even a little peaceful. But everyone still couldn't help but get goosebumps. It's really, very touching. When everyone listens to a song, they will have their own story and resonance, and the male, female, protagonist in their story will probably be their elusive but distant dream in many cases. Or maybe it's the regrets of the past. We always have so many words that we are ashamed to say because of face, making everything in the past turn into regrets. We can only recall them many years later after dinner, when we are drunk, or during sleepless nights, and we regret it. In fact, sometimes, it is as simple as you mustering up the courage to open your mouth and make a phone call. And today, Gu Huiyan just asked them to make a phone call. Call the person you want to call the most, whether it's the person you like, the person you love, or your family, it doesn't matter. Wow, this. Because this plot is really romantic, many people were touched by it. Then, probably infected by the atmosphere at the scene, many people actually picked up their mobile phones and called the person with whom they most wanted to share the song Tenderness. Who should I call? The young woman Yao in the audience looked at her phone list, and she didn't think about who to call for a long time. He had no choice but to turn his attention to Xylin beside him and asked. Do you want to fight? Xylin held the mobile phone in her hand, but her eyes were just looking at Gu Huiyan on the stage. She smiled and shook her head and said. I beat him. It would be boring for him to arrange the session. Xylin knew very well that the heroine in this phone call session was not her. She knew this when she watched Gu Huiyan come up with a mobile phone. Although she also knew very well that if Gu Huiyan's cell phone rang on stage at this time and the caller was her name, the live show would be very effective, but unfortunately, her sister still did not want to join in the fun. She is still willing to watch from the side. At the same time, on the stage, seeing many people taking out their mobile phones to make calls, Gu Huiyan grinned and waited patiently for them to get through. Dong dong. Fortunately, the melody I compiled in advance is long enough, otherwise I don't know whether I can sing it later. Seeing those people talking on the phone, to be honest, Gu Huiyan was a little envious. He looked down at his cell phone, and finally shook his head and stuffed the phone back into his pocket. Then, he held his hands and looked at everyone silently. Because the camera on the big screen was always focused on him, many people still noticed even the subtle movements just now. Aren't you going to fight? In the audience, some audience members were shouting. Don't you want to call the person you like? You fight too. I don't know if the herd effect is causing the problem. When one person shouts, many people start shouting. At first it was just people shouting in the infield, but then the sound spread to the outfield, and then the whole place started shouting. You fight too. Call Pei Jingshu. The sounds became more numerous and louder. Yes. They all have people they want to call, and they all have their own regrets, so why not Gu Huiyan? To say that everyone knows today, the person who may have the greatest regret is probably Gu Huiyan. Who doesn't know that he and Pei Jingshu have not reconciled yet? Hit me. Pei Jingshu, the white-eyed female fan in the front row who had been shouted at by Gu Huiyan many times, suddenly shouted at the top of her lungs. The voice was so loud and abrupt that it even broke her voice. Puff. Ha ha ha. It makes everyone around you happy. I mean, girl, does your throat really not hurt? This phrase "fight you" has also successfully brought back some people's memories. Speaking of which, everyone is really helpless towards Gu Huiyan, a stinky straight man. During the New Year's Eve some time ago, the whole audience shouted "fight you," and now it's fight again. Just hit me, isn't it really okay? This picture is extremely familiar. Some viewers also commented harshly on Gu Huiyan, saying, Gu Huiyan encourages us to be brave, but he is very shy. He asks everyone to call the person he likes, but he doesn't dare to call him. Why should he ask others to do something that he doesn't dare to take the lead in doing? And as if he was aware of this, Gu Huiyan took out his mobile phone from his pocket again. He was holding the microphone in one hand and his mobile phone in the other, staring at the phone with a look of helplessness on his face. If I hit her, she might not be able to catch it, he said. Everyone knew who he was going to call, whom he would call, and they even knew whether she could answer the call. Yes. Until this moment, many people suddenly realized that even if Gu Huiyan called, Pei Jingshu would not be able to answer the call. Because at the same time, she was also holding a concert in Suzhou, and it was during the performance period in full swing. How could she have time to answer the phone? The mobile phone must be held by the staff. They would not think that Pei Jingshu happened to be taking a break at halftime. You fight first. Someone at the scene wanted to say that it's her business whether she accepts it or not, and whether you hit her or not, that's your business. At the same time, there was a big brother shouting in the infield. My girlfriend was at Pei Jingshu's concert, and I asked her to tell Pei Jingshu. As soon as the words fell. Puff. Real or fake? Can it still be done like this? This Tianxiu operation suddenly showed off to many people, and some people who like to cause trouble shouted next to them. Who did your girlfriend go with? As soon as these words came out. Ha ha. It amused the people around me all at once. Although it was not very polite, there was nothing wrong with the question. You said that if a boyfriend and a girlfriend don't go to the same concert together, why should they be separated? This, you can't say it like that. Gu Huiyan now acted as a peacemaker and helped his eldest brother, otherwise it would be a big problem if there was a fight. The eldest brother has a good attitude and even explained to the people around him that he wanted to watch Gu Huiyan's concert and his girlfriend wanted to watch Pei Jingshu's concert, so they could only watch each other. He didn't know how enviable these words were. Not just anyone could grab Gu Huiyan and Pei Jingshu's concert tickets. It's good to grab one side, but I got both sides. You must have spent a lot of money on scalpers. It is worth mentioning that there do seem to be many friends on Pei Jingshu's side at the scene. Suzhou was so old, so many people came to the concert together, so it was not surprising to have friends at each other's concerts. Maybe it was because the eldest brother took the lead, but many people started shouting, saying they could call that friend or something. No. We agreed that you would call the person you like. Gu Huiyan was so happy. Why did this become his special show after such a fuss for so long? It does not matter. She won't answer anyway. Help you. Everyone was quite kind-hearted, but Gu Huiyan seemed a little shy if he didn't fight at this time. Dong dong. It is worth mentioning that, as if the atmosphere of the scene had reached a certain level, the band teacher's keyboard also played harder and crisper. It was also like assisting Gu Huiyan. Then I'll fight. Gu Huiyan was a little nervous and dialed Pei Jingshu's phone number. Speaking of which, this seemed to be the first time Gu Huiyan called Pei Jingshu after the breakup. He was quite unsure whether he could get through. He was really afraid that she would block him and no one answered him for the time being. That would be embarrassing. This kid. Many viewers were amused when they saw Gu Huiyan on the stage. It was obvious that from the beginning to the present, Gu Huiyan was a capable singer with full stage experience, steady style, and perfect control of the stage. It felt like he had everything under control. Why is it that when I call Pei Jingshu now, she seems like a completely different person? The place was really quiet, as if everyone was waiting for him to make a call. And Gu Huiyan's anxious heart finally calmed down a bit with the sound of dialing and ringing. It turned out that she had never blocked Gu Huiyan's phone number. It's just that Gu Huiyan has never been beaten before. It turns out that you are the luck I want to keep most. It turns out that love and we were once so close. Compared with Gu Huiyan's concert, the scale of Pei Jingshu's concert is not that big, with nearly 10,000 people in attendance. This year she is very tired, has a lot of performances, and has emotional problems, so she has been in poor condition. Fortunately, her face is not broken, otherwise fans will really want to care about Huiyan offline. Different from the wraparound stage design of Gu Huiyan's concert, Pei Jingshu's stage is designed in the center of the stadium. The 360-degree stage design allows the audience to appreciate her delicate and pretty face in all directions without blind spots. After all, she returned to her hometown to hold a concert. Even though her recent state has never been at its peak, Pei Jingshu still showed all her sincerity. Now, except for the time to change clothes, she almost spends all her time singing and interacting with everyone. There is absolutely no choice in stage design or singing. Even, Little Lucky was sung. After the breakup, it seems that Pei Jingshu has always deliberately avoided things related to Gu Huiyan, especially not singing several of his masterpieces Little Lucky, Meeting, Together no matter how far away he wrote to her. But tonight, she sang Little Lucky. Some people say that maybe she is relieved. Are you kidding? Look at the tears in Pei Jingshu's eyes when she sang Little Lucky. She didn't look like she was relieved. Once, when she handed the microphone to Gu Huiyan in the singing competition of Time Singer, she always asked him to sing It Turns Out That You Are the Luck I Want to Keep Most. She even couldn't bear to sing any unsatisfactory line to Gu Huiyan. Sweet lyrics. But now, her focus seems to be on It Turns Out We Were So Close to Love. Of course, the audience does not deny that they may have acted on their own behalf, but those feelings cannot be deceiving. Come on. Come on, Sister Pei. Forget about that scumbag. He doesn't deserve it. It is almost a consensus that Pei Jingshu's fans will always be the most viscous and most combative in the entire domestic entertainment industry. So you can see that her fans are wholeheartedly doing her best and supporting him wholeheartedly at all times. What's the buzz on the internet right now? Everyone is calling Sister Pei to get back together with Gu Lulu. And only fans of Pei Jingshu's family would shout, saying that scumbag is unworthy. He made you like this, and why are you getting back together? Compound a chicken feather. God knows how unprotected all the fans were when they saw Pei Jingshu's short hair, and how much they wanted to give it to Gu Huiyan offline. Some time ago, someone actually sent knives to the hotel where Gu Huiyan was staying. Thanks. Thank you all. Pei Jingshu always raises her head. She is currently wearing a light-colored blue tutu with a tube top. Because it is a performance costume, it will be a little exaggerated. To a certain extent, it will be more popular than attending an event. The blanket is even more exaggerated. This is quite normal for singers. After all, the concert performance is live, and some changes will always be made for the sake of performing arts. If you want to bring an impressive performance to the audience and express the central idea of the song, naturally you need to the blessing of clothing. Only. No matter how low the temperature is in winter in the south, it is not the season to bare your skin after all. Pei Jingshu, wearing a tube top dress with bare shoulders, although she is very beautiful and fairy-like, Her superior head-to-neck ratio and head-to-shoulder ratio have always amazed countless audiences on the big screen. But it's also really cold. In itself, Pei Jingshu's coldness makes people feel pity for her. With her short hair, it makes people feel bad to see her, not to mention that it is such a cold day and she is still so far away from me. Pooh. No. Not to mention that on such a cold day, she still had her shoulders exposed. It may be entertaining, but it will also make everyone feel more sorry for her. So cold. Pei Jingshu herself forced a smile and said, "Sorry, I might have to change clothes again." Sometimes Pei Jingshu feels helpless. She is actually the type who changes clothes frequently during concerts. There is no way. Many singers do not rely on their faces to make a living, but rely on their voices. But she relies on her voice and face to make a living together. The audience at the scene was not only fans, but also fans and spectators. Not everyone came to listen to the songs, but some came to enjoy the stage. She has such a pretty face that is known as the beauty of domestic entertainment and a good figure. If she doesn't dress well and change her looks a few times, it doesn't seem to be suitable for some viewers in terms of viewing. Good. We will wait for you. The audience at the scene was quite supportive, because they felt sorry for her, so no one would blame her at all. But just when Pei Jingshu was planning to walk to the lift platform, lower herself, and change her clothes. "Sister Pei. Phone, phone." Several spectators in the infield who were relatively close to the stage suddenly shouted, "Telephone. Answer the phone. Lao 6 is singing Tenderness. Answer the phone." Many people at the scene were confused and had questions on their faces after hearing these words. What were those people shouting? What phone number? Pei Jingshu, who had planned to go down to change clothes on the stage, also stopped and turned her eyes strangely. The venue was actually quite noisy, with people talking about anything, and the sound was very loud. I didn't even know if Pei Jingshu could sing well without wearing earphones. Even just now, someone shouted to her pick up the phone very hard and she didn't hear it clearly. However, she was in the crowd and accurately heard someone shouting Lao Lu is singing Tenderness. It was this sentence that attracted her attention, causing her to stop and turn around. But just by turning around, it was out of control. It seems that those few people just told the people around them that Gu Huiyan called Pei Jingshu from a distance at his concert and sang Tenderness. Then many people's eyes lit up, they became excited, and they shouted together, "Telephone. Sister Pei, answer the phone. Old number 6 is calling you." In the stadium, more and more people began to shout. Probably because the venue itself is not a super big stadium, and the stage design of Pei Jingshu is 360 degrees open, so when everyone shouts, Pei Jingshu can hear the response from all directions. Telephone. Oh. In that scene, many spectators were shouting and felt a little excited. If you were watching, you would definitely get goosebumps all over your body. Pei Jingshu was stunned, and a dull look flashed across her delicate and pretty face. She subconsciously raised her slender jade hands and took off the earplugs on her ears, hoping to listen more carefully to what everyone said. After a while, she also heard some reasons for answering the phone from some fragments of words, but she couldn't believe it. Would that guy really call himself at a time like this? Doing this? Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Bulletin Shi Swan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 338. Chapter 333. She is still using the ringtone of "Want to See You, Can I Still Sing You a Song?" Telephone. Answer the phone. On this 360-degree open stage, voices came from almost all directions calling Pei Jingshu to answer the phone. Although it was shocking, strange, and unbelievable, for some reason, Pei Jingshu, who was very tired just now, actually forgot about the fatigue and coldness in her body. Electric, phone. At that time, Pei Jingshu was still in a daze, and she didn't know whether she should call her staff to give her her mobile phone at this time. She did know that the ringing time of the phone would not be very long. Maybe it would stop ringing if she didn't answer the phone right now, but she still didn't shout. It wasn't that she was entangled, it was mainly because things happened so suddenly, and she was on stage again, so her brain was really shut down. Later, some netizens took a screenshot of Pei Jingshu's face on the big screen and joked, "Sister Pei's brain is frozen." They even made an emoticon that went viral on the internet, making a group of people laugh like crazy. Answer the phone. Seeing her dazed look on the stage, many people became anxious. The ringing sound passed immediately. If you don't pick up, you won't be able to pick up again. And just when Pei Jingshu was finally urged, she was about to call the staff to bring her mobile phone. Her assistant, who had already run away, rushed up to her with her mobile phone. Pei Jingshu's mobile phone is wrapped in a white mobile phone case. It is very simple and elegant, and there are no fancy decorations. There is only a hanging pendant, which is quite in line with her temperament. Although her brain was a little confused at the time, Pei Jingshu couldn't help but frown as she looked at the assistant who ran up to hand over the phone, with a question mark on her face. When she performs on stage, her cell phone is usually kept on mute. Not to mention her assistant, even her manager Sister Pei Ya is not qualified to look at her cell phone. This is personal privacy and should be respected. Therefore, during performances, mobile phones are usually thrown aside. The backstage was far away and she didn't take the initiative to ask for it. Even if the audience called her to answer the phone, the assistant should not have brought her the phone so quickly. Why does this look a bit like premeditated? Pei Jingshu couldn't help but recall the rehearsals a few days ago. Every day, her sister and an assistant would stay for a while, saying that they had some sponsor issues to discuss. At that time, she didn't ask much or think too much. Now I suddenly feel like, have they done something without telling me? Of course, that thought was just fleeting at this moment. Because the next moment, the assistant had already rushed to her and handed her her mobile phone. Ding dong dong. It is worth mentioning that the ringtone of Pei Jingshu's mobile phone is actually the theme song originally written by Gu Huiyan for Crystal Love Season. It is also the most famous and representative promotional song "Want to See You" of Pei Ban takes care of CP Prelude. Oh. At first, the mobile phone was far away, so many people did not hear it. When Pei Jingshu held the mobile phone in her hand, because it was very close to the microphone, the melody was accurately transmitted to every audience member through the microphone. In my ears. At that moment, many people really couldn't help but get goosebumps and were a little moved. It turns out that more than half a year after the breakup, Pei Jingshu is still using the intro to "Want to See You." It turns out that more than half a year after the breakup, Pei Jingshu was still reluctant to block Gu Huiyan, and she could still answer his phone calls. Just sensing these details, many viewers couldn't help but break their defenses. Of course, the audience breaks the defense, and Pei Jingshu on the stage not only did not do this, but her pretty face turned a little red. When the camera was filming her, her eyes evaded for a rare moment, and then she immediately raised her phone and pressed the lock screen button to mute her phone. She looked a little panicked, as if she was afraid that everyone would know that she was still using "Want to See You" as a ringtones. Ah! Sister Pei. Oh! Many people at the scene began to boo. The look of Pei Jingshu was indeed a bit different. She seemed to be two different people from the cold beauty on the stage in the past. Of course, this also made the blush on Pei Jingshu's pretty face become more obvious. She was indeed ashamed, but it was not shame, but shame. At this moment, she wished she could find a crack in the ground and crawl into it. She cursed in her heart why she was always so soft-hearted and couldn't bear to change the ringtone of her cell phone. I changed it a long time ago, how could I be so embarrassed today? Buzzing. The phone was vibrating and the flashlight was flashing. Pei Jingshu stared at the caller notes on the phone. Looking at the caller who hadn't called in more than half a year, she looked at the name that was a bit unfamiliar. My mood started to get a little complicated. That guy. Why do you like to create these sensational scenes? Is it true that only when there are many people around can he have the confidence to say things that he dare not say in private? Pick up. Hurry up and pick it up. It is worth mentioning that the audience and fans who had been shouting that Gu Huiyan was a scumbag and Pei Jingshu should never pay attention to him again were now shouting for him to take over. Of course, not everyone is calling for a pickup. There are many people who have always looked down on Gu Huiyan, and even more so after the breakup. But under the big trend, that little voice was quickly drowned out. Out of 10,000 people, only a few hundred people shouted not to pick up the call, while the rest were all calling for Pei Jingshu to pick up the call. Should Pei Jingshu pick up the call or not? Of course, the audience has never been able to influence Pei Jingshu's thoughts. Call. She didn't hesitate for long, because she didn't know how long the phone had been ringing, let alone whether it would stop ringing in the next second, so she took a deep breath and answered it. No reason for hesitation is like tossing a coin, you already know the answer the moment you toss it. Now that you know the answer, there is no reason to hesitate. Call. What's funny is that Pei Jingshu took a breath and answered the phone, but the audience breathed a deep sigh of relief the moment she answered the phone. Finally picked it up. Finally, everything went well. Pei Jingshu is not someone who likes to make their conversations public, so even when she answered the phone, she did not turn on the speakerphone, nor did she turn the phone to the phone. Instead, he answered it silently. There was no music, and everyone was talking and staring at Pei Jingshu, who looked a little weak standing alone on the stage. However, Pei Jingshu's attention was all focused on the man opposite the mobile phone. What made people speechless was that for more than 10 seconds after the call was connected, Gu Laoliu on the other side of the phone didn't say anything. All he could hear on the phone was the noisy music on his end. Just when Pei Jingshu finally couldn't hold it any longer and planned to ask Gu Huiyan if he called just now just to say nothing. On the other end of the phone, Gu Huiyan's voice rang suddenly. Can I also sing you a song? Then. That moment. Pei Jingshu was stunned for a moment. A lot of dullness flashed across that delicate and pretty face known as the beautiful face, and the next moment, she felt a strong sadness welling up in her heart. That kind of sadness can spread to the brain and make people unable to help crying. She thought about what Gu Huiyan would say on the phone, but she never thought that he would be so humble and say such a thing. What did they say? Why does Sister Pei look like she's about to cry? No, if you dare to hurt her heart again, I will chop you up. People at the scene didn't know what happened. Pei Jingshu didn't turn on the speakerphone or answer the phone. No one could hear what they said. They could only see Pei Jingshu's face on the big screen, and they could only see that she seemed to be listening. When Gu Huiyan said something, his eyebrows furrowed, the tip of his nose wrinkled slightly, his eyes gradually became moist, and his delicate body trembled slightly. At that time, many fans of Pei Jingshu were about to break their guard. Ever since Pei Jingshu started the short hair mode, fans really wanted to protect her. No one could make Pei Jingshu cry at this time, especially Gu Huiyan. Some people at the scene who happened to be connected to Gu Huiyan's concert next door shouted on the phone. Then what did Old Six say? Did he say something ugly again? Help me throw a knife at him. Just when everyone was talking about it? Just when the sounds of distress and curses gradually filled the entire stadium. Bang. With the sound, everyone in the stadium was surprised to find that on the large surround screen on the central stage of the stadium, the screen turned and split into two parts. In addition to Pei Jingshu's face on the stage. What's the scene at Gu Huiyan's concert? At that time, everyone at the scene was confused. Next. Oh. Oh my God. No. What's going on? Is this popular now? Senseless. Completely confused. The audience never expected that the big screen at Pei Jingshu's concert would actually show the scene of Gu Huiyan's concert. Don't talk about it here. Even next door, at Gu Huiyan's concert, the scene immediately exploded, right? Oh. Ah. You old man, you've been holding it in for a long time, haven't you? Hey, what's going on? To be honest, Gu Huiyan has already started singing in the second half. Maybe it's because the first half was so explosive. The audience is always curious about how Gu Huiyan will wrap up the second half and how he will end it. What a great song, I sang it all in the first half. But don't drive high and go low. But probably until this moment, many people realized belatedly that the second half seemed to be the most exciting and eye-catching scene of the entire show. When Pei Jingshu's face and the scene from her concert appeared on the big screen at Gu Huiyan's concert stage, the entire audience at Gu Huiyan's side really screamed crazy. The infield looked a little more reserved, and the nice spectators in the outfield bleachers were shouting at the top of their lungs. Some even stood up and waved light sticks while shouting. It is worth mentioning that Pei Jingshu's face on the stage is really beautiful. Perhaps because of the official performance, her makeup is very delicate, she has a good foundation, and her body and skin are beautiful. After the makeup and facial features are refined, the facial features captured by the camera are like that of a legendary elf. Once you take a look at it, you will be stunned by its beauty. This face really seems to be born for the camera. It is not without reason that various field control teachers like to give the camera to Pei Jingshu during intermissions or cold breaks at various events. This is really she is a female star whose face can arouse cheers from the audience. Not to mention, at this time, she was still wearing that very beautiful and elegant tube top dress, exposing her snow-white shoulders. Even if you have short hair, it still feels great after being specially styled, okay. It was a surprise to see Pei Jingshu at Gu Huiyan's concert, not to mention that she was so exquisite and appeared on the stage at the same time as Gu Huiyan's face. Occasionally, some viewers can't help but complain and say, "Sometimes I think they should stop getting back together. This old man is really not worthy of Sister Pei." Compared with Pei Jingshu, Gu Huiyan, who had just changed his clothes after being caught in the rain and wore the grey old actor hat, seemed really not worthy of Pei Jingshu. Ahaha. The rest of the audience laughed when they heard similar words. Fortunately, no one actually shouted out, otherwise Gu Huiyan would definitely have broken through. Of course, Gu Huiyan now has no time to break the defense with them. Dong dong. The accompanist teacher was waiting impatiently. In order to wait for Gu Huiyan to call, MD had to loop the intro several times. If Gu Huiyan hadn't choreographed it well and could play back and forth, he would have really lost his mind, right? "Can I also sing you a song?" After saying these words, Gu Huiyan waited for a long time. At this time, he was staring at the big screen. On the big screen was Pei Jingshu's face, her short hair, and her exposed shoulders in the winter. All of this makes people have the urge to protect her. When he said this, Gu Huiyan did not turn on the speakerphone, nor did he speak to the audience. He just spoke to Pei Jingshu alone. Pei Jingshu did not answer, but kept covering the lower half of her face below her nose with the hand holding the microphone, trying not to let others see her uneasy expression. It's a pity that the increasingly moist and red eyes still betrayed her. To be honest, she didn't really want Gu Huiyan to see her expression, but she couldn't help it. Her team seemed to have been collectively betrayed by her sister Pei Yat. It seemed that everyone knew that they were going to connect to Gu Huiyan today. She alone doesn't know. Her mood was so complicated at this moment that she really couldn't give Gu Huiyan any answer for a while. She just looked touched and touched, not knowing whether to be sad or happy, a strange look. She won't speak. Gu Huiyan took it as her acquiescence. Finally, When the next accompaniment was coming to the main song of tenderness, Gu Huiyan began to sing to Pei Jingshu's face on the big screen. Walking in the wind, the sun suddenly feels so gentle today. The gentleness of heaven and the gentleness of earth are like you holding me. Then I find your change in the lonely future. If it's cold, how should I spend it? Pei Jingshu was not very disgusted that Gu Huiyan started singing without her consent. She tried her best not to let herself cry, and she would never make a fuss. She just used the hand holding the microphone and the hand making the phone call to keep the phone attached. Put it on your ears and listen to him singing to yourself. Because of the connection, the live speakers could actually hear Gu Huiyan's voice, so many people would unconsciously sing along. After all, this song Tenderness has been really popular recently. Of course, Pei Jingshu could hear the sounds at the scene, but at this moment, her ears did not have the luxurious audio equipment at the scene. She could only hear the voice from Gu Huiyan on her mobile phone. The sound quality was not good. They always seemed to have a tacit understanding of each other. Gu Huiyan is also holding the phone to his ear, and Pei Jingshu is also holding the phone to her ear. You can see their faces and eyes on the big screen at both concerts. Each other's figures. Wow! Just realizing this makes many people extremely excited. The scenery in the sky and the scenery around me are not in your eyes. I've never understood what's hidden in your eyes. It doesn't matter if your world is yours. Don't bother, it's mine, gentle. Compared with the original version, the key of this version of telephone version is much lower and much more relaxed. The melody is very gentle, and Gu Huiyan sings softly, as if he is telling something. Standing on the stage, he no longer had the restlessness he had before, and he no longer wandered around like a hot dog, but just stood there holding his mobile phone and staring at the big screen and singing. And when he sang the phrase "not disturbing is my gentleness" that has been regarded as copywriting by countless people recently and has become popular all over the internet, many people really couldn't help but get goosebumps. No one knows how gentle he and Pei Jingshu are singing this song Tenderness in the same frame. Come together. Before the chorus, during the interlude, Gu Huiyan smiled, taking care of every audience member on both sides of the concert. Next moment. The total audience for both concerts was about 30,000 to 40,000, and they actually sang the chorus of Tenderness together. I don't know why I don't want it, my heart. Obviously I want to get closer. But alone until dawn. I don't know why I don't want it, my heart. The beauty of love. Always alone. Give you my best love again. This side of Gu Huiyan's concert is the Red Sea, and the other side of Pei Jingshu's concert is Qinghai. Various fluorescent sticks are constantly waving in the two-color stadium, and countless audiences are singing along. The camera scans every audience, and they all sing. Very loud. Looking at their faces on the big screen and their expressions looking at each other, everyone seemed to be able to recall all the stories of Pei Ban taking care of CP along the way. I want to get every bit of their young love in Crystal Love season. I want to get Pei Gu, who was in a long-distance relationship when they met and hugged each other and cried with joy. I also want to get the depressed state of the two of them after the breakup until now. Although they listened and sang the lyrics in Gu Huiyan's Tenderness not disturbing is my gentleness, but no matter what, they did not hope that the gentleness of Pei Ban taking care of CP would be not disturbing. No matter how loud they scold, no one wants the ending of Pei Ban taking care of CP to be. No way. Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Bulletin Shi Xuan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 339. Cold. So cold. Pei Jingshu, who didn't have much flesh and had bare skinny shoulders on the stage, seemed not to feel the slightest warmth even though she was surrounded by so many people. Fortunately, the assistant got her a coat in time and put it on her shoulders, otherwise she would have been frozen unconscious. I don't know why I don't want it, my heart. The concerts on both sides were singing Gu Huiyan's Tenderness at the same time. Sometimes Pei Jingshu couldn't help but wonder why that guy wrote a song that was so popular that everyone could sing it, even her. It has become Gu Huiyan's concert venue. Let's take the spotlight, okay. Crotch ran, what makes her most helpless is that her sister and everyone in the team actually did such a big thing without telling her. There was even some resentment in Pei Ya's eyes when she glanced at the audience just now. She wanted to give herself a surprise, but if she didn't tell her, it would make her look very embarrassed, okay. Without any psychological preparation, she was indeed easily moved by Gu Huiyan. Look at her eyes, which were full of tears for a long time. This time, she did not endure it stubbornly like she did during the New Year's Eve, but let it slip from the corners of her eyes and cheeks. In fact, since the last New Year's Eve meeting backstage, her complaints against Gu Huiyan have not been so deep. She just loves face too much and doesn't want to say a soft word. Ever since Shang Zuoyan came to see her, she felt that her hatred for them had slowly dissipated, and she didn't know if it was out of pity for Shang Zuoyan. Shang Zuoyan should have gone far now, right? They all paid the price for this. This turmoil was so big that it should have ended long ago. To be honest, according to Pei Jingshu's character, do you want to forgive Gu Huiyan? Basically impossible. But who made her like Gu Huiyan so much before? There were so many sweet memories between them. Those memories would always come to her mind when she saw Gu Huiyan, making her wonder if everything would be okay if she forgives him. Back to the way it was before? And as long as people think of those good results, people can't help but want to develop in that direction. People will always only think of good results. Dong dong. The sound of the concerts on both sides continued. The last line of the song Tenderness is Set You Free. After singing This Is My Tenderness many times, the last line is called Let You Be Free. But at the end, after Gu Huiyan repeated This Is My Tenderness over and over again, he silently put down the microphone in his hand and did not sing the last line of Let You Be Free. He held the microphone in his left hand and carried it behind his back, while his right hand was still attached to his ear. He stood there and looked at Pei Jingshu's face on the big screen. Whenever they looked up at this time, they could see each other's faces, reflecting each other's faces from afar. Let you be free. The audience didn't understand it at first, but almost everyone sang the lyrics for Gu Huiyan. It wasn't until they finished singing that they discovered the details of Gu Huiyan. Oh! Ah! Then there were all kinds of shouts and screams. To be honest, the two scenes of singing Tenderness with Pei Jingshu on the phone through the air gave everyone goosebumps. Especially at Pei Jingshu's concert next door. Although Pei Jingshu's performance was really good in the first half, when Gu Huiyan's Tenderness comes out, you will find that she is just here to ruin the show, right? How are you going to let Pei Jingshu act in the future? Ah, so touching. Hurry up and get back together. *U0026% UN #@ Dong dong. The scene, amidst the melody of the ending, seemed extremely noisy. After singing, everyone expressed their own opinions. There was always chaos in the venue with tens of thousands of people. If you don't wear earphones and control the venue, you really can't hear your own voice. In Pei Jingshu's ears, which had already been removed, all she could hear was the noise from the scene, which was the music coming from Gu Huiyan's side. At this moment, she was quite touched but didn't dare to wipe her tears because her makeup would stain. She was not afraid of makeup's words, but she didn't want to look embarrassed. She just kept a fragile expression, staring at Gu Huiyan's face on the big screen. To be honest, she hasn't stared at him like this for a long time. At the next moment, Gu Huiyan's voice came from the other end of the phone. Sorry. The two of them didn't turn on the speakerphone or carry the microphone. They were just talking on the phone, staring at each other on the big screen of their respective concerts. When Gu Huiyan said I'm sorry, whether it was because of soft heart or not, Pei Jingshu, my heart trembled violently. Gu Huiyan continued. I don't want to put pressure on you, nor do I want anyone to force you. I just want to apologize to you properly. Different from the last time when he was backstage at Orange Channel for New Year's Eve, this time Gu Huiyan did not avoid Pei Jingshu's gaze at any time. He just stared at their faces on the big screen. The directors of both parties were the camera was tacitly cut to the one filming them directly, as if they were staring at each other like this. What did you say? Hey, can't you take the microphone? Good guy, we usually treat each other as brothers, why do you think we are brothers like this? You old man, will you abandon your brothers after using them? Hitui. Scumbag. Gu Huiyan started to complain everywhere. MD, the old six, whispered to Pei Jingshu on the stage without holding a microphone, but everyone could see his mouth movements on the big screen. Yes, maybe they also know that they shouldn't listen to the whispers Gu Huiyan and Pei Jingshu say. There are too many people here. But I'm just curious. I just want to hear it. This old six has completely aroused their curiosity, okay. Is this how you treat brothers as brothers? I didn't ask you two to grow strawberries or anything for us to see. Is it so hard to just listen to what you say? Ah. Many people have been tortured by Gu Huiyan and scratched their heads. This old man is not a human being at all, okay. *U0026% UN #at. The audience was bustling with people. Gu Huiyan on the stage did not interact with anyone this time like he did during the first half of the concert. As he said, he had never thought about using the 30 to 40,000 people at both concerts to put pressure on Pei Jingshu, as if he was forcing her to get back together. If that would make her feel pressured, then Gu Huiyan would not hesitate to call the director cut the video connection. If so. And it was obvious that Pei Jingshu would never cut off the connection at this time. On the big screen, there were crystal tears on her face, which was full of brokenness and endearing. Under everyone's gaze, she actually tacitly agreed not to use the microphone, and just spoke to her mobile phone, just the two of them. The audible voice said, I made all my staff, even my sister, turn against me and do this without telling me. Is this how you apologize to me? Although her words were not very nice, her tone was not cold at all, and even a little gentle. Gu Huiyan couldn't help but smile after hearing this. Ah. This kid has no mother, it's a long story. Strictly speaking, the idea cannot be entirely said to be Gu Huiyan's. He and Zhang Ma came up with it together, and Zhang Ma was responsible for the contact. As for Pei Ya being so cooperative, none of them expected. It is worth mentioning that Gu Huiyan's smile at that time was captured on the big screen because it was at a concert and because there was a camera filming his face. Oh. The scene on both sides immediately became heated. No, what are you laughing at? What are you laughing at? What on earth did you two talk about? Can't you tell us in front of us? Ah. Gulalu, you have been tortured to death by labor and management, please hold the microphone. The audience was really scratching their heads anxiously. That is to say, this Pei Ban takes care of CP has abused countless people after breaking up. Why is this so damn girl looking at getting back together and still abusing people? This abuse is even more uncomfortable than the abuse of breaking up, okay. Many audience members at the scene really felt like ants were crawling all over their bodies. They couldn't help but catch Gu Huiyan and beat him up. They asked him why he didn't use a microphone to speak and not let everyone listen. Then again, even though they didn't hear what they said, seeing Gu Lulu smiling, many viewers immediately became excited and felt that there was a chance of getting back together. It is worth mentioning that Pei Jingshu didn't hold back when Gu Huiyan smiled like this. She probably thought this incident was too funny. Her staff turned against her collectively without telling her, and even her manager sister Pei Ya helped Gu Huiyan hide it from her. So with tears still hanging on her face, she smiled miserably. Because she was staring at Gu Huiyan's smiling side on the big screen, The camera kept filming her face, so when she smiled, almost everyone on the scene on both sides could see her. It was at that moment. Oh. Ah. Sister Pei. Sister Pei. A burst of shouts and heckles that could be described as unprecedented erupted from the scene on both sides. The scene on both sides exploded. Okay. God knows how excited they were when Pei Jingshu laughed out loud for a long time. It was really more exciting than the other two concerts where they hit any high notes or showed off any gorgeous skills. In the past, Pei Jingshu was a cold beauty who rarely smiled. Later, she fell in love and often smiled slowly in public. Many people have become accustomed to the Pei Jingshu who smiled without showing her teeth. But after the breakup, for more than half a year, except when facing some big occasions or fans, few people have seen Pei Jingshu really smile in public. Today, when talking to Gu Huiyan, she laughed for the first time in a long time. Although everyone didn't know what they said or talked about, as long as she could smile, everyone was satisfied. Similarly, they also knew very well that no matter what they talked about, Gu Huiyan and Pei Jingshu both laughed, and it seemed that things had turned around. Get back together. Let's get back together quickly. No, can you use the microphone? The fans in the infield were shouting crazy. What was very funny was that someone actually carried a water bottle and threw it on the stage. Throwing things should only happen when the audience is kicking someone off the stage. I go. At first, Gu Huiyan stood close to the stage because it would be easier to watch the big screen. The audience's bottles were thrown under their feet, and he quickly shrank back, then called to the security guy next to him who was working part-time. Remember to protect me. Who knew that the internal security guy actually shouted? I almost want to whip you. As soon as the words fell. Puff. Ha ha ha. Many people in the field laughed like crazy. Let's just say, even the security guy couldn't help but said that he wanted to slap Gu Huiyan. Just tell me how cheap this guy is. After all, this security guy is trying his best to prevent the audience from throwing bottles. He is here to work part-time. Gu Huiyan's concert needs a lot of security because it is not a small scale. The outsourcing team will also find some part-time jobs. Remember, there was a related hot search on the internet before, saying that it was a part-time job at Gu Huiyan's concert, and many people wanted to come for free. After all, as a security guard, you can come in and attend the concert for free. You'd be even luckier if you were in the infield. It goes without saying how popular Gu Huiyan's concert tickets were in the first place. Because it was a part-time job, the security guy was a bit more spontaneous. Gu Huiyan was thinking that he would never find a part-time job again. Jiao. Ha ha ha. The concerts on both sides were filled with laughter, and even Pei Jingshu on the stage couldn't help but be amused. Gu Huiyan. Why is it always so embarrassing? The three words "eye bags" are as if they are welded on his body. Even a laser can't remove them. Maybe it was because the atmosphere was lively, or maybe because he saw Pei Jingshu smiling, so Gu Huiyan could actually relax a little when he spoke. He still didn't take the microphone, and still stared at the big screen and talked to Pei Jingshu on the phone. I know I'm not qualified to say this, and I don't really want to be a scoundrel, but I just want to be selfish for once. Pei Jingshu, I still like you very much, and I still can't separate from you no matter what. Can you forgive me? According to Gu Huiyan's formula in the past, this old man must have some tweaks. After all, it is a bit shameless to say something like this. But today, he didn't know what happened, but he just gritted his teeth and told Pei Jingshu these words without any hesitation. To be honest, even Pei Jingshu has never thought about how this guy managed to beg for forgiveness so confidently. Pei Jingshu suddenly became angry and happy, and she said, "Are you asking for help? I say I don't want to be a scoundrel, but in fact I am a scoundrel more than anyone else." Up to this point, Pei Jingshu's attitude is actually very obvious. There may be times when she thinks about those things and she still can't get over it. But who makes her always so soft-hearted towards Gu Huiyan and can't bear to blame him? Woolen cloth? People. Who can guarantee that he will never make mistakes in his life? Outsiders often say that the aristocratic industry is really chaotic in this entertainment industry, which is as chaotic as a big dive at, as an upstart in the industry and the new king of the music industry. The temptation Gu Huiyan faces is not just Chang Zuoyan. Maybe he did something wrong, but Pei Jingshu would not believe that the past eyes and expressions that made him so fond of her were all fake. In the past 6 months, she has been living a bad life. Strictly speaking, Gu Huiyan's life cannot be described as bad, it should be said to be very bad. The entire internet was slandered, the house was destroyed, and even family members were harmed. There was a video on the internet showing someone making trouble in Gu Huiyan's store. Many times she would feel very guilty because it seemed to be caused by one of her Weibo updates. She had scolded herself at that time, because at that time she was still thinking whether Gu Huiyan's mother would blame her for this, and would it really be impossible for them in the future? Maybe that was indeed her revenge in a fit of rage, so how could she not have done anything wrong? Pei Jingshu had had enough of torturing each other like this. She always kept her own face, but Gu Huiyan handed over the steps again and again. In any case, he was sincere. So, even though what she was stepping on was a princess's glass slipper, which was as high as a female star's, it didn't seem that difficult to walk down the steps. Probably because he heard her voice over and understood that she was no longer angry with him, Gu Huiyan breathed a sigh of relief at that moment and felt his whole body relax. If you do this, prepare the keyboard, washboard, and durian. I'll kneel over one by one to let you feel the attitude of asking for help. Gu Huiyan said jokingly. Pook. Pei Jingshu was amused for a moment, and a staff member just brought a tissue to her. She wiped the tears on her face with the tissue and said, "A man has gold at his knees, how can he kneel down just because he wants to?" What she didn't say was that she couldn't bear to kneel down for Huiyan, not to mention how painful it was to kneel on those things. The kneeling thing was definitely a joke, and it was impossible for Gu Huiyan to actually kneel down, but he had to say it for what it was, otherwise how could he express his determination? Staring at Pei Jingshu's face wiping tears on the big screen, Gu Huiyan smiled and asked, "Do you feel sorry for me?" Pei Jingshu, who had just cried, had red eyes, but when she heard these words, her pretty face turned slightly red. She frowned and glared at Gu Huiyan and said, "I see that you don't seem to be begging for help. In that case, I'll hang up first." As she said that, she actually pretended to die. "Hey, don't. Gu Huiyan immediately begged for mercy and said, "With so many people watching, how shameless would I be if you died?" He looked so mean on the big screen, which made Pei Jingshu find it funny. He was indeed Gu Huiyan, he had always been like this, he got an advantage and then behaved. Of course Pei Jingshu will not hang up the phone. She also wants to experience the romance of making phone calls at a concert. I really don't know how that guy came up with such a bad idea. When she knew she couldn't go to Gu Huiyan's concert, she was very disappointed and said. The two people on the stage were holding their mobile phones, chatting to themselves and enjoying the phone porridge of the newly reunited young couple. Off stage. I can't bear it anymore. The audience was already deserted. That is to say, if you two don't want us to listen, can you go back and talk? Do you two remember that the total number of people on both sides of the scene could be 30,000 or 40,000? Do you two take us seriously? Do you really stop treating people as human beings? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Buletin Shi Swan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 340. No, Gulalu, do you still know that you are performing? Brothers together are just tools, throw them away after use. 6. As expected of you, you are no longer a fan, go away. I really can't stand it anymore, I'm so sick. Under the stage, the abuse became stronger and stronger, and many audience members really couldn't stand it any longer. It would be fine for MD and MD to act like no one else in other places, but here is their respective concert venue. That's tens of thousands of people watching at the same time. When mentioning this, everyone can't help but admire them. They are worthy of being celebrities. Their psychological quality and sense of belief are really strong. With so many people watching, they can actually make phone calls as if no one else is around. Talent. It is worth mentioning that most of the people who cursed were scolded Gu Huiyan, but not many people scolded Pei Jingshu, and it was clear that neither of them had a microphone to speak, nor was they on speakerphone. Sometimes Gu Huiyan feels unbalanced, as if Pei Jingshu will always be the innocent one, and all the scoldings are his, and he is content if everyone treats him a little better than Pei Jingshu. Although there are no scoldings, Pei Jingshu's statement that she has no complaints is definitely fart. Sister Pei. You can't just talk to yourself. What did you say? Many spectators in the front row of the infield were also shouting for Pei Jingshu. In fact, it's not their fault. If you said that the two of them only chatted on the stage, it would not be enough. The key is that the big screen can give them faces. Everyone can see them chatting and laughing, but they can't hear what they say. Can you not scratch your head at this? At this time, probably the vast majority of the audience are thinking, it would be great if there was a lip-reading expert here. Seeing that the public anger could no longer be suppressed, even the security guy wanted to go on stage to slap him. Gu Huiyan couldn't help scratching his head and asked Pei Jingshu what to do. After all, everyone didn't really rush to slap Gu Huiyan. Most of them were for the effect of the show. Gu Huiyan knew this, so he could still joke with Pei Jingshu. Pei Jingshu smiled bitterly and shook her head. She raised her hand to tuck her short hair behind her ears, and finally picked up the phone after a long time. She didn't hang up the phone, she still held the phone against her ear, but her beautiful face was still staring at the big screen. She stared at Gu Huiyan on the big screen and said, "You did it yourself, take care of it yourself, I'm going to change clothes." After saying this, she decisively took the phone off her ear without even waiting for Gu Huiyan's answer, turned around and walked towards the lift. Oh! Don't worry about the situation on Gu Huiyan's side, everyone on Pei Jingshu's side started shouting. Let's get back together. We must be back together. I recorded the screen. I will go back to the hair website and I will definitely ask a lip reader to interpret it. Alas, I have abused labor and management for so long, and it is finally over. In fact, from the first time Pei Jingshu laughed, everyone knew that there would be no big problem with the two of them reuniting. Now, Pei Jingshu can safely hand over the scene to Gu Huiyan, doesn't that mean something? And just the fact that Pei Ban takes care of CP and gets back together is enough to make everyone excited, right? Hey, don't leave. Gu Huiyan on the big screen was still trying to retain Pei Jingshu, but unfortunately, at this time, the elevator began to slowly descend, and Pei Jingshu's figure began to gradually disappear from everyone's sight. Gu Huiyan smiled helplessly. Although Pei Jingshu went down to change clothes, and although Pei Jingshu did not explicitly say that she did not forgive him, judging from her attitude, anyone who was not stupid could basically see it. Now that I have forgiven you, what does it mean to leave temporarily? Besides, it was really time for her to go down and change her clothes. It was such a cold day and Gu Huiyan would feel distressed if she wore such thin clothes. Hey! Gu Lao 6. How long does it take to return the water? Are you done with this kid? Are you still singing? Ocean, you are all water. At this moment, the public anger in the audience has accumulated to the limit. They are exhausted. They haven't heard a song in the past half day, and they haven't even heard the words of Gu Huiyan and Pei Jingshu. They were happy, but the audience was disgusted. The proud Gu Mao began to have a thicker skin. I don't know if it was because of getting back together with Pei Jingshu, but this old man seemed very happy, and the corners of his mouth almost reached the base of his ears. Sing, 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 who says you can't sing anymore? I don't know if he was smiling too happily, but some audience members shouted. Look at your worthless look. As soon as this statement came out. Puff. Ah ha ha ha. The scene was filled with laughter. Laughter. Many fans of the Gu Huiyan family are still very happy and emotional. For more than half a year, Pei Ban takes care of CP has tortured not only them, but also all the viewers. Watching the two of them act like this every day, everyone will also feel distressed. Now, finally, a smile appeared on Pei Jingshu's face for the first time in a long time, and Lao Lu also started to smile again, which felt pretty good. Even the audience on Pei Jingshu's side who was connected at this time were amused. To be honest, the atmosphere at Gu Huiyan's side was really good. The place was very hot, everyone was very supportive, and they could catch any jokes. Compared with there's a lot of excitement here. No, you people. Gu Huiyan didn't like hearing this very much, and pointed at the big screen and said. Look at the other person across from you, and then look at you. Why is there such a big difference? Then a funny scene happened, that is, someone shouted immediately below. Then go over there. Eat it inside and out. Again there was a burst of laughter. Gu Huiyan was still dissatisfied and said. You think I don't want to go there? As a result, there was a beautiful woman in the audience shouting. I take it you don't want to stay here for a minute, right? You've wanted to do it for a long time. This old man has been thinking about going to Pei Jingshu for a long time. He wishes he could kiss and hug her right away. Ha ha ha. Many people couldn't help but burst into laughter just watching the fun. Fans like Gu Huiyan were also really brave. When they said they were complaining, they were really complaining. Each one of them was like a machine gun and they couldn't control it at all. Gu Huiyan's guard was broken and he couldn't help but ask. No, are you really fans? Are you sure you're not Xiao Hizi? Ha ha ha. The scene burst into laughter again, and then someone shouted one after another. We love deeply and hate deeply. Just be content. Who would say that to you if you're not a fan? We are the true fans. Gu Huiyan's place was very lively, and many people at Pei Jingshu's place were also very amused. They all felt that coming here was like watching a talk show, and they almost forgot that they were here to watch a concert. Even Pei Jingshu, who had just stepped off the stage and was changing clothes, couldn't help but smile when she listened to the sounds outside. Sure enough, there is no place in this world that Gu Huiyan can't warm up to. He's here, so he doesn't have to call out the guests. As for Gu Huiyan, he also took on the role of guest very well. When Pei Jingshu burst into laughter and almost forgot that they were coming to the concert, Gu Huiyan successfully reminded them. Ahem, that's enough. I won't make trouble with you anymore. After the laughter, Gu Huiyan took the microphone and walked away from the noisy audience and said. Let's sing a song. It is worth mentioning that this old sick said it to the camera where he was filming a face-off. Because it was connected live, the picture seen on the big screen over by Pei Jingshu looked like he was talking to the audience here. Speech is the same. This old man is so good at giving special treatment. Some of his fans were offended. Why did it feel like Pei Jingshu's fans were her natal family and Gu Huiyan was deliberately trying to please her natal family? But they couldn't say anything, after all, they were in-laws family. Special treatment, just special treatment. Oh. Many people at Pei Jingshu's side were excited. Speaking of which, it was really surprising to be able to connect with Gu Huiyan and sing Gu Huiyan's songs at Pei Jingshu's concert. At that time, many people were discussing what he would sing. Some said Under the Flying Clouds, others said You Will Marry Me Today, and of course, there were also many people who said Want to See You. But Gu Huiyan has never disappointed in terms of song selection. We sing. You can see Gu Huiyan running all the way on the stage on the big screen, holding a microphone and dragging long notes, and trotted all the way to the piano. He didn't say his name directly, but stretched out his hand and played a few notes on the black and white keys. Dong dong dong. That intro is very recognizable and very smooth. Just the melody together, everyone immediately felt like they were back in a hot summer. Oh. Oh. At that moment, everyone on both sides of the scene shouted together. Just because of that prelude. It's Light Chaser. It was the song Light Chaser that Gu Huiyan sang in public after Gu Huiyan and Pei Jingshu successfully joined hands in Crystal Love Season. It is the song that represents the hottest summer, the most passionate youth, and the most romantic feelings. Light Chaser. Because the intro was so smooth and recognizable, everyone recognized the song as soon as Gu Huiyan played it. After all, its original popularity was still fresh in my memory that summer. Many people seem to be able to think of the cicadas chirping on the trees on a hot afternoon just when they hear the prelude. The image is so strong. You kid, you really are. Even on Gu Huiyan's side, those who threw bottles just now, scolded Gu Huiyan angrily, and even felt that he treated Pei Jingshu's parental family differently from them. When this melody sounded, they were all moved by Gu Huiyan got poked. Why is this old man so good at choosing songs? How come every song is chosen so appropriately? Stop talking about them. Even Pei Jingshu, who was putting on pants backstage, felt goosebumps on her smooth arms as she listened to the melody. As the heroine of the song Light Chaser, how could she not remember how this song once moved her? That guy. Always so good at choosing. I just asked him to show up for a show, and he actually sang Light Chaser. Who is he trying to stab to death? Dong 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 dong. Gu Huiyan was sitting in front of the piano. When the cameras showed his face, he seemed a little proud. The gentle melody flew at his fingertips. The charm of music was clearly visible at this moment. Every time the melody of Light Chaser is played, even the player will actually feel very comfortable. The same feeling in Gu Huiyan's song only appears in Sunny Day. When the band teacher's drums, guitar, and other instruments came in together, and when the prelude was almost ready, Gu Huiyan sang. If You Are the Fireworks on the Sea. In fact, Gu Huiyan always has many songs that he doesn't have to sing at all, and just acts as a stage conductor. For example, with this song Light Chaser, Gu Huiyan has just started singing. Concerts on both sides. The whole audience. 30 to 40,000 people. Almost at the same time, they all sang along. I am the foam of the waves. At a certain moment, your light illuminated me. If we say you are a distant galaxy, you are so dazzling that it makes you want to cry. I'm chasing your eyes. Always look at the night sky when I am lonely. It is worth mentioning that this time, even though he knew that everyone could sing and everyone was singing, Gu Huiyan did not stop his singing, nor did he make any jokes. When the cameras showed him, he would follow everyone while playing the piano. Singing together. Ah! Even before the chorus, many people at the scene burst into tears while singing. To this day, when looking at Gu Huiyan's early work Light Chaser and looking at the lyrics in it, many people are still very moved. At that time, Gu Huiyan himself knew that no matter in terms of family background, popularity, works, reputation, traffic, etc., he was not worthy of Pei Jingshu at that time. Pei Jingshu at that time was like his song. It's the same thing as the song, it's the fireworks on the sea, it's the distant stars, the light is dazzling, shining on everyone, making people daunting. When they first got together, When they first held hands, Gu Huiyan faced an overwhelming amount of scolding. Needless to say, Pei Jingshu's family was only fans of their fighting ability. Needless to say, it was not easy. So later on, Gu Huiyan worked very hard and cherished every opportunity to work. After the first album became popular, he spent half a year almost non-stop. On New Year's Eve, he went to 7 or 8 satellite TV stations, and even during the New Year, he only stayed at home for 3 or 4 days. The sky is like this. The only reason is to be worthy of Pei Jingshu. Although a lot of things happened to them later, even though they broke up later, no matter what, when time comes to today, Gu Huiyan really did what he said in the chorus of Light Chaser. I can follow you, like a shadow chasing the light, sleepwalking. I can wait at this intersection, whether you will pass by or not. Whenever I raise my head for you, even my tears feel free. Some love is like the sun falling, and you have it. The edge is lost. The chorus of the whole audience continued until the end of the chorus of Light Chaser. This song is so catchy that no one needs to look at the lyrics. The lyrics just flow out of their minds continuously when singing. Gu Huiyan really did what he said in his lyrics, always standing behind Pei Jingshu and always being her light chaser. Wow! The atmosphere at the scene was really great. Many people have goosebumps. Gu Huiyan's side is actually a little better. To put it bluntly, they have never seen the world, so it goes without saying what the level of Gu Huiyan's performance in the first half of the concert was. After listening to Sunny Day, I have listened to Suddenly Miss You So Much, I have listened to So What If You Lose and Win the World, I have listened to Missing Is a Disease, and I have also listened to All in All. After hearing so many famous songs and scenes, how could they be moved to such an exaggerated degree by a song called Light Chaser? At most, I was poked by the lyrics. But over there at Pei Jingshu's concert next door. Ah! Oh my god! Is this Gu Huiyan's concert? Wow, the atmosphere there is so good. Many fans of Pei Jingshu's family have turned to fans of Gu Huiyan. Let's just say that the atmosphere of Gu Huiyan's concert is really not an exaggeration or a cover-up. On the one hand, Gu Huiyan's works are catchy enough, widely sung, and of high enough quality to listen to. On the other hand, Gu Huiyan can definitely be regarded as a palace-level singer in the Chinese music scene. His live performance is really stable, and the sound quality is really amazing, okay. In fact, there were many people at Pei Jingshu's concert who were hesitating between Gu Huiyan and Pei Jingshu's concert at first and didn't know where to go. The reason why many people chose Pei Jingshu's was because of its reliability, because after all, Pei Jingshu was no longer the first. Once I held a concert, the atmosphere and feeling at the venue were trustworthy. In comparison, because it was Gu Huiyan's first concert and his first solo concert, many people were afraid that something would go wrong. But looking at it now, they suddenly feel that they really made a billion-dollar mistake by not choosing Gu Huiyan's side. Whether it's the atmosphere or the performance, it feels really good. The most admirable thing about Gu Huiyan is that almost all of his works can cause the whole audience to sing loudly. Even the audience who came to support Pei Jingshu could sing along to his tenderness and Light Chaser. Do you think this singing speed is a joke? Come on, come on. Looking at this scene, Pei Ya couldn't help but ran to Pei Jingshu, pulled away the assistant who was arranging her skirt, and said to Pei Jingshu, "If you don't go up, that kid will turn your concert into his concert." When it comes to stirring guests and taking over the host, this old guy really has a way of doing it, and he's completely unbecoming of a human being. Pei Jingshu didn't feel anything about this. She even chuckled lightly, put her hands around her chest, looked at her sister teasingly, and said in a hinting and sour tone, "Except for me, almost all of us here belong to him. Isn't it normal for the concert to be his?" Pei Ya was speechless for a moment. Ashamed. Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Buletin shi swan shi shui xian. Chapter 341. Oh. When Gu Huiyan finished singing Light Chaser, a series of shouts rang out at the venue. Pei Jingshu's experience was not obvious yet. Many audience members on Gu Huiyan's side actually felt a little uncomfortable in their throats. There's nothing I can do about it, almost from the beginning until now, it's strange that they don't have any problems with their voices. But they were in good condition, very excited, and their adrenaline was soaring. Even if they knew that their voices might not be able to make a sound for several days, they still felt that coming to Huiyan's concert was worth it. Aren't you back yet? When he finished singing Light Chaser, Gu Huiyan looked up at Pei Jingshu and found that she still didn't appear. This stinky straight man will probably never understand how troublesome it is for girls, especially female stars, to change clothes. Pei Jingshu's performance costumes are all very gorgeous, and she is particular about how to put them on and take them off. She needs help, naturally. It takes more time. Not everyone is like him. MD went down and took off his clothes, and as soon as he put them on, he jumped up. Sing one more song. They were probably very satisfied with the performance of guest Gu Huiyan just now, so some fans on Pei Jingshu's side asked Gu Huiyan to sing another song. A single move can affect the whole body. Don't underestimate the herd phenomenon of this group of people. If one shouts, everyone shouts. One more song. Still want to hear it? Didn't hear enough. Many people here started shouting, but Gu Huiyan would definitely not shout like that, because it was natural for them to listen to Gu Huiyan sing the next song. Pei Jingshu, who had already reached the stage, listened to these voices and slowed down her steps on the stage. She quietly glanced at Gu Huiyan's face on the big screen and couldn't help but chuckle. Not to mention, she really wanted to listen to one more song. One more song. Gu Huiyan scratched his head. If he added one more song to Pei Jingshu's side, it would easily disrupt his order. And it's also easy to time out. Generally, there are strict regulations on the use time of concert venues. If you exceed the time limit, you will be fined, and the amount of fines is very exaggerated. Many singers would rather bear the fine in order to give their fans a better experience, but Gu Huiyan is not afraid of the fine, mainly because it's not necessary. You hold a concert to make money, not to lose money. If you don't make enough money at a concert and you have to pay for it over time, then why don't you hold a concert? He was always a more practical person. But let's play one. Seeing that Pei Jingshu hasn't come up yet, seeing that the audience over there is so enthusiastic, do you think you should ask Gu Huiyan to reject them at this time, or cut off the connection? It seems that Gu Huiyan can't do it either. Okay. Gu Huiyan rolled his eyes and said helplessly. Listen to you. Before he finished speaking, Gu Huiyan put his hand on the piano. At that time, many people still speculated whether he would sing Want to See You or Together no matter how far away. At this time, when Pei Gu followed Light Chaser, these two songs were indeed very suitable. But what surprised them was Dong Dong. The melody played by Gu Huiyan was very unfamiliar, and many of them had never heard it before. At that time, there were a series of question marks on the scene. Because there was no report in advance or during the rehearsal, it was an improvisation on the spot. Therefore, when Gu Huiyan sang this song, there was no song title, no lyrics, and no lighting or choreography on the big screen. Cooperate. The band teacher was stunned. Only Gu Huiyan played and sang by himself. This song is called, Don't Think of Me. When everyone was asking questions, Gu Huiyan put it on the microphone and explained it to everyone. At first, many people had questions, thinking that this was one of Gu Huiyan's works that was relatively unpopular, something they had never heard of. So they began to search for the name of the song in Gu Huiyan's works in their memories, but they couldn't find it for a long time. Then they widened their eyes and thought in disbelief, Could this be a new song? Oh. Ah. When they realized that Gu Huiyan was singing a new song, everyone started shouting. Especially Pei Jingshu's side, and Gu Huiyan's side, because he previously sang 3 new high-quality songs with famous scenes, If I Can, Suddenly Miss You So Much, and What If You Lose or Win the World. So what if there is one more song? On the other hand, Pei Jingshu was so excited when she heard that Gu Huiyan sang a new song for them. Even Pei Jingshu, who was not on stage in the audience at this time, folded her arms and leaned against the guardrail, staring stupidly at Gu Huiyan playing the piano on the big screen. She also hadn't stayed quietly to listen to Gu Huiyan sing for a long time. It is worth mentioning that here she changed into a blue and white cheongsam with blue and white patterns. Her good figure and delicate temperament went well with her cold and broken feeling. She was leaning against the guardrail with her arms folded. He looks a little lazy. Some people in the infield stands noticed this, so they secretly used their mobile phones to zoom in and take a photo. It is not difficult to imagine that this will be another magical picture that will make the whole internet crazy. Dong dong. The melody is crisp and slightly quiet. The title of the song is not as dreamy as the previous songs, but the melody is always eye-catching. The scene slowly became quiet. There were 30 to 40,000 people on both sides of the scene. Everyone waved their light sticks and waited quietly for Gu Huiyan to sing. Gu Huiyan also sang while playing. I've been lonely for how long and I'm still not feeling better. It feels like the whole world is laughing at me. How proud I am to have. It's okay to be vulnerable. As soon as I touched you, I was knocked down. Even when singing a mediocre bass sound or a weak voice, Gu Huiyan can use his own skills and timbre to give everyone the most appreciable feeling. When listening to the song Don't Think of Me, some people heard the shadow of Gu Huiyan himself in it. Some people said that the first 3 songs If I Can, Suddenly Miss You So Much and Losing You Win the World So What was written by Gu Huiyan to Pei Jingshu. Their feelings while eating and singing were also sung by Pei Jingshu. He always felt sorry for Pei Jingshu, always felt sorry for her, and always said that he had done something wrong, but he never complained for himself. There were Shang Xuan, Pei Jingshu, and some in his songs. No one else but himself. This is the most distressing point for many fans. He has obviously been miserable for more than half a year. What is very gratifying is that in this song Don't Think of Me, he finally no longer just sings you, but also sings I. Listen to those lyrics, the whole world is laughing at me, how proud I can be, how can I be vulnerable, isn't that what he has been like in the past 6 months? What a true fan, my eyes are already wet with tears at this moment. Escape calmly after waking up the sleeping iceberg. You always have a way to do it easily. A smile from afar can set off turbulent waves. I smell, the smell of boiling tears again. Oh. Compared with the first half, the melody of this half will be more fascinating. Of course, no one will deny that this is the credit of the singer. Gu Huiyan's voice is so good and he is so good at singing that he seems to be able to sing anything. It won't sound bad. What surprised fans the most was the metaphor in the lyrics. Gu Huiyan is really good at metaphors. He woke up the sleeping iceberg and escaped calmly. The words sleeping iceberg are so similar to Pei Jingshu. Before she participated in Crystal Love Season, Pei Jingshu was like an iceberg. She was a famous cold beauty. She did not speculate on CP with anyone, refused any bundled marketing, and focused on her career. She seemed to have her heart sealed by cement forever. Love the same. And since Gu Huiyan appeared, this sleeping iceberg was awakened, chipped, and slowly melted. They have Pei Ban taking care of CP, various famous scenes and various masterpieces of their own. The subsequent breakup was compared by Gu Huiyan to Escape Calmly. This is actually a bit ironic. Look at him in the past 6 months, how does he look calm? He was just trying to show off his strength to save face, and said he was taking it easy. and if you want to say which sentence resonates most with everyone at this scene, it seems to be that sentence. A smile from afar can set off turbulent waves. From Gu Huiyan's point of view, these lyrics may have made his heart turbulent when he saw Pei Jingshu's smile, but the audience at the scene had a picture in their mind when they heard it. Many people subconsciously recalled the scene when Gu Huiyan and Pei Jingshu were on the phone on the stage. Gu Huiyan didn't know what he said, and Pei Jingshu suddenly smiled softly. Her smile at that time caused everyone on both sides to shout crazy and almost explode. Isn't that just making waves? Because of the sense of the picture, you will feel that this sentence is very suitable for the occasion, very appropriate, and it will make you feel very good. Wow! Many people looked at Gu Huiyan with more admiration in their eyes, thinking that this old man was really good at writing. What surprised them even more was the chorus. Dong dong. After a few powerful strokes of the strings, Gu Huiyan frowned slightly and sang with a raised voice. Obviously you love me too. There's no reason why you can't love the outcome. As long as you dare not be cowardly. Why should we miss it? The night is long, and there are still many dreams. Do not you think about me. Then you'll know how it hurts. Ah! Oh my God! Many people at the scene had goosebumps all over their bodies when Gu Huiyan sang the first line, obviously you love me too, so there's no reason why love can't end. The lyrics are very straightforward, but also really romantic. When singing, Gu Huiyan's mixing part is very aggressive, as if it has turned into thousands of ice picks, trying to pierce everyone's heart. Words, sometimes you really don't need fancy words to modify them. The most straightforward language can also express the most intuitive feelings. It is worth mentioning that when singing these lyrics, when the camera was shown to Gu Huiyan, someone actually saw something in Gu Huiyan. Feeling of brokenness. Indeed. Logically speaking, this word should not appear in Gu Huiyan, or even in a man. At this scene, it seems that Pei Jingshu is the only one who can afford to use this term. But there was no way. Who made Gu Huiyan, who sang Don't Think of Me, really open the cracks for everyone to see like a crystal ball dropped on the ground. Gu Huiyan rarely uses a crying tune when singing. Among his works so far, it is only used in Stranded. Now when he sings Don't Think of Me, you can occasionally hear some of it. In fact, when singing with overflowing emotions, using a little crying tone will not only not appear embarrassing, but will also appropriately strengthen the overflow of emotions. At least the audience did not feel any sense of disobedience when listening to Gu Huiyan singing, and even went to bumps all over their bodies. Pull it up, okay. This man is really. Hey, what are you doing? I burst into tears. Many people at the scene made Gu Huiyan sing and cry. No one expected that this song Don't Think of Me would be so easy to cry. Gu Huiyan sang it as if he was carrying a knife. It's too knife why, okay. Some people even want to say, you are almost getting back together with Pei Jingshu. It's okay if you don't give out sweets. Why the hell are you giving out knives? You are truly a human being, Gu Huiyan. Certainly. If you want to say who cried the most exaggeratedly at the scene, probably. Let's count Pei Jingshu. Pei Jingshu, who was in the corner under the stage, was leaning on the guardrail, looking at Gu Huiyan on the big screen from a distance, recalling the self-blame, guilt and, no, she felt every time she saw news about Gu Huiyan in the past 6 months. I am willing to listen to the few lines he sang, obviously you love me too, there is no reason why my love can't end. As long as you dare not be cowardly, why should we miss it, it feels more resonant. Let Pei Jingshu say that she thinks the song is more suitable for her to sing, because she, Pei Jingshu, has never been a coward. On the contrary, Gu Huiyan, a bastard, didn't even know that she hadn't blocked him in the past 6 months. Not a single phone call. To be honest, after listening to this song, for a moment, she was so angry that she didn't even want to forgive Gu Huiyan. Who wants him to escape calmly after waking up the sleeping iceberg? Fortunately, the longing is silent, otherwise it would be deafening. The director-teacher was a thief and a bitch. At this time, he cut the live scene of Pei Jingshu to a long shot that could capture Pei Jingshu. Then, Pei Jingshu wearing a cheongsam and leaning on the guardrail appeared on the stage and the big screen, and was seen by everyone. Next moment. Oh. Ah. The scene immediately went crazy. God knows how excited the audience was when Gu Huiyan's song Don't Think of Me reached its most emotional peak and Pei Jingshu's face appeared on the big screen. At that time, the goosebumps in the audience were enough to treat everyone in Suzhou to a bowl of goosebump soup. And when everyone sees the incomparably beautiful Pei Jingshu looking at the picture of Gu Huiyan on the big screen with a moved expression, the excitement will be even greater. Really? They still have stories like this, which are more deeply rooted in the hearts of the people. Possible. He must have known that he was exposed. So Pei Jingshu took 2 pieces of paper from the assistant, wiped her tears, and walked to the lifting platform. Ah! Gu Huiyan is singing, Pei Jingshu is flying up, and the audience is screaming. The scenes on both sides were quite lively. I'll wait for you to tell me how much you love me. After quietly singing his song, Gu Huiyan finally took his hand off the piano. Call. After sorting out the emotions stirred up by the singing, Gu Huiyan raised his hand and took his mobile phone from the piano. Oh! The audience in the audience started to cheer again when the cameras showed Gu Huiyan's cell phone. Because Gu Huiyan's cell phone is still on the interface where he is talking to Pei Jingshu. It shows that the call has been going on for dozens of minutes. It seems to be. Neither of them died. At the same time, someone on Pei Jingshu's side also noticed that Sister Pei on the big screen was also holding a mobile phone in her hand. No, you too. Some viewers were speechless. They wanted to say that you two sang sad love songs to torture us at one moment, and then sprinkled sugar on us at the same time. This was going up and down, up and down. What are you doing? Ice and fire? What the hell? You two are no longer human beings. Someone said. If you two keep whispering, I really can't bear it anymore. This is everyone's sentiment. The two of them didn't hang up the call. If they were whispering in front of the audience without turning on the speakerphone or using the microphone without letting others listen, that would be really too much. And it seems. He also felt that what they did was a bit too silly for the audience. Gu Huiyan did not whisper to Pei Jingshu this time. Anyway, he said everything that needed to be said. He turned on the speakerphone, took out the microphone from the piano stand, and asked Pei Jingshu in front of all the audience and the camera. When can we meet? As soon as this statement came out, the whole place was quiet for a while. Immediately afterwards. Oh! Ah! Everyone on both sides of the scene shouted crazy, wow, this guy Gu Huiyan, is he so anxious to meet Pei Jingshu? But there is one thing to say, in the atmosphere at this moment, there is nothing more romantic and exciting than Gu Huiyan wanting to meet Pei Jingshu, right? On Pei Jingshu's side, the expression on her delicate and pretty face on the big screen was a bit complicated. After all, she had just been sung and cried by Gu Huiyan, her eyes were still a little red, and she was very thin-skinned, in front of so many people. Being asked like that by Gu Huiyan, she felt a little shy, and her pretty face turned slightly red. This made her look at Gu Huiyan with a bit of resentment. And just such an expression makes the hearts of people who eat melon burst, okay. What a contrast. Sure enough, Pei Jingshu would act like a shy little woman only when facing Gu Huiyan. Pei Jingshu is a woman who can capture everyone's hearts instantly no matter what expression she puts on. In the midst of howling ghosts and howling wolves, she says, if you want to see, just see me. Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Bulletin Shi Swan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 342. Oh. When Pei Jingshu said with a blushing face, "You can see me if you want," God knows what the crowd of melon eaters and wolf friends at the scene were shouting. They wish they could shout at the top of their lungs. At any time, no one can refuse the shy picture of a woman like Pei Jingshu. Just one picture can make people excited, right? Hey hey hey. Gu Lalu on the other side was smiling so cheaply that the audience wanted to take off their shoes and throw him away. But when he said the next sentence, he couldn't help but get excited. Gu Huiyan said to Pei Jingshu, "Shall we sing a song together?" Oh. Many people on both sides of the scene began to boo again. There is one thing to say, Gu Huiyan knows how to extend an inch. Although Pei Jingshu's attitude has been obvious so far, she has not told him that she is sure to get back together, but this old lady wants to sing a song with her. Isn't it enough to push the envelope? But then again, from the audience's perspective, they really want to see Pei Ban Takes Care of CP singing together. After all, their previous films Under the Flying Clouds and Today You Will Marry Me also hit the screens of major social platforms. What do you want to sing? Pei Jingshu stood on the stage wearing that white coat, with a band teacher and backup dancers beside her. Her stage design was not big, so it looked compact and more secure. Only standing in the center of the stage, she always gives people the feeling of a thin back. Especially that short hair, it is still so distressing to this day. Gu Huiyan pressed the brim of the hat on his head, cleared his throat, and instead of rapping directly, he put his hand on the piano. Dong dong dong. A few notes popped out softly. A familiar melody, as if imprinted in the DNA of Pei Ban Takes Care of CP fans, spread to everyone's ears. At the beginning, the scenes on both sides were quite quiet. But soon. Oh. Ah. Gu Huiyan is a good boy. You know what we want to hear. As expected of you. The scene on both sides was boiling. The few notes played by Gu Huiyan were like water being poured into a frying pan, making the whole frying pan boil completely. Why, you ask? Because those few notes he played were the melody of Want to See You. Want to See You, the theme song of Crystal Love Season, the marketing song of Pei Ban Takes Care of CP, was also the first song Gu Huiyan wrote to Pei Jingshu. This song has also created many famous scenes unique to Gu Huiyan and Pei Jingshu. To this day, many people can still recall that cloudy day, that evening, in that crystal courtyard mixed with the scent of tea and toilet water, the scene when Gu Huiyan sang Want to See You for the first time in Crystal Love Season. I even remember that he went to Singer of the Times to help Pei Jingshu sing, and during the canvassing session he sang this song while spreading sugar in front of everyone, and at the end, Pei Jingshu secretly sang the 3 words with the microphone. I do. Now. It's been a long time. I have experienced so many things and changes. Pei Ban Takes Care of CP, who made a high-profile announcement at the concert of both parties to reunite and sang Want to See You Again. Just thinking of that scene made many people excited. Not to mention, Gu Huiyan just told Pei Jingshu and asked her when they could meet. And what Pei Jingshu just said was, I can meet you if you want. Neither of them has ever said these 3 words, I want to see you, completely, but their eyes, words, and tone always tell each other I want to see you. With so many stories, backgrounds, and plot foreshadowings, when Gu Huiyan plays the melody of Want to See You, the impact on everyone will be so strong, the effect of the live program will be so good, and everyone will be so excited. Tonight, the fluorescent sticks in many people's hands were broken by shaking them. Such a hard stick, how many times did it take to shake it, and how hard did it take to break it? Gu Huiyan's side is actually pretty good. After all, Gu Huiyan has been exciting them so far. They seem to be taking stimulants all the time. On Pei Jingshu's side, many viewers really couldn't bear the impact. The audience is still like this. Pei Jingshu on the stage got goosebumps even more when she heard the smooth melody of Want to See You played by Gu Huiyan. The tears that I had just managed to control were showing signs of incontinence again. But this time it's not sad, but touching. She couldn't help but raise her hand to cover her mouth, turned her head away, and avoided the camera. At that time, the big screen showed her back, which was slender and graceful. The design of the cheongsam was relatively traditional and not very revealing, but it outlined her figure very well. The raised jade hands and shoulder-length short hair show her weakness all the time. Ah! Sister Pei. Many people at the scene were also moved and infected. At this moment, they seemed to also feel the touch of Pei Jingshu. Everyone was so excited. How could Pei Jingshu be exempted from the vulgarity at this time? She is the heroine after all. Dong dong dong. It is worth mentioning that Gu Huiyan did not even wait for Pei Jingshu to answer, let alone her consent, and played the melody of Want to See You. While Pei Jingshu was carrying her back, he was playing and singing. When love becomes a relic. Use pictograms to depict memories. Thinking about it for centuries is what will last forever. When Gu Huiyan sang this, Pei Jingshu had actually sorted out many of her emotions. When she turned around to face the camera, Gu Huiyan, who was playing the piano, had a free hand and made a please gesture. So Pei Jingshu picked up the microphone and led everyone to sing together. If we could go back to the Ice Age. I want to hold you tight and handle you. Your smile is so healing and makes life come alive. There is a tacit understanding between singers. Strictly speaking, it cannot be said to be between singers. It is usually a tacit understanding in KTV. That is, when singing, the chorus is only one person and 4 lines. So as soon as Gu Huiyan made that gesture, Pei Jingshu immediately understood it. Of course, it may not be because of this. If you ask the fans, they are more willing to believe that this is the tacit understanding of Pei Ban taking care of CP. Ah! Sister Pei sings beautifully. It is worth mentioning that this is the first time Pei Jingshu has sung Want to See You. After all, she is a capable singer. Even though she has not rehearsed before, she has never sung this song once, but when she sang, Pei Jingshu opened her mouth, and her outstanding timbre and solid singing skills captured many people in the first place. Oh! Even on Gu Huiyan's side, the 20 to 30,000 people present all had goosebumps. Some people really can't sing some songs, because they will really amaze the listeners to death, okay. It is worth mentioning that the melody of Want to See You is a bit brisk, so when singing, the atmosphere on both sides was very good. As for Gu Huiyan, the old man, when Pei Jingshu sang the phrase "Your smile is so healing, it makes life come alive," he grinned with a swishy smile. At that time, many viewers wanted to slap him. Too cheap, okay. Pei Jingshu also gave him an angry look, but just that look made many people howl like wolves. The scenes at the scene were so funny, some were stunning, some were angry, and some were even scolding. Gu Huiyan ignored all this. He played and sang the next line. The line before the chorus, the common sense is chorus, so Pei Jingshu also sang with him, and the two of them sang at the same time. Losing your scenery is like a ruin, like a lost civilization. Can a miracle give us a glimmer of hope? Can we meet again? Ah! Can't get off. I can't get goosebumps at all. Many audience members shouted hoarsely, but they still tried their best to wave the light sticks and squeeze out the sound. No way. The stage effect of Gu Huiyan and Pei Jingshu singing together at the same time is really amazing. The vocals of Pei Bangguan have always matched well. From Under the Flying Clouds to Today You Will Marry Me, no matter when the two of them sing together, you can really feel a kind of harp music. Harmony feeling. They both have such aggressive voices, and they are obviously talented singers who can be completely crushed by others when singing with other singers. But when the two of them come together, their voices are like a match made in heaven. From what I heard at the scene, sometimes, you can feel two very beautiful voices intermingling and intersecting, like the two most beautiful threads in the world intertwined, recirculating and surrounding your ears. That is the sound that will make your whole being sublime. They are the ones who truly resonate with people's hearts. Okay. Dong dong. Just when this foreshadowing was brewing to its extreme, Gu Huiyan played an interlude and at the same time shouted in a very happy tone. Come together. Oh. All the audiences at Gu Huiyan's concert can vouch for his personality. This chorus is definitely the happiest Gu Huiyan has ever had. Not only because Gu Huiyan laughed happily and shouted loudly, but also because there was Pei Jingshu in the chorus this time. On the big screen, there is Pei Jingshu's face. At any time, that face is worthy of the title of divine face and is so beautiful that it cannot be compared. It's probably because she hasn't practiced Want to See You before, or maybe it's because many people at the scene shouted too loudly. Pei Jingshu pressed her ear with one hand and held the microphone with the other. There was an inexplicable feeling of weakness in her movement, which makes people feel pity. Next moment, everyone sang together. I want to see you, I just want to see you, the future has passed, I just want to see you. We have traveled through thousands of times, in the timeline, and in the sea of people, we are dependent on each other. Exhausted logic and scheming to reason about love, the most difficult mystery. Will you also? Same as me. Waiting for a word. Gu Huiyan is a very old man, which was fully reflected when he sang the chorus of Want to See You. You can see that he sang very high, hard, and with great feeling. Every pitch and technique was used very appropriately and skillfully. While singing, he often stared at Pei Jingshu's face on the big screen. Even the scene was full of that kind of sugar-spreading atmosphere. But, when singing the last line, when everyone is immersed in the chorus and forgets the connotation of the lyrics, this old six doesn't sing anymore. He stretched out his hand. At that time, many people did not know that he had arranged this session. Even Pei Jingshu did not expect that everyone would subconsciously sing the last three words along with his piano melody. I do. Sing very loudly. Puff. Hello. Gu Lao 6. You boy. You're doing this, aren't you? What the hell? Many spectators couldn't help but complain. Some spectators in the infield couldn't take off their shoes and threw the soles of their shoes at Gu Huiyan's face. Hurrah! Good guy. After a long time of fussing, the reason why this old man sang Want to See You was because he was waiting here. Even Pei Jingshu on the other side raised her jade hand to cover the lower half of her face with a look of disgust after realizing this, and gave Gu Huiyan a helpless look. Everyone knows that there is a relatively classic section in Want to See You of Pei Ban Takes Care of CP, which is the chorus sung by Gu Huiyan and the phrase I do sung by Pei Jingshu. Now, Gu Huiyan has successfully recreated this scene, and took Pei Jingshu into the pit when she wasn't paying attention. The same I do was sung from Pei Jingshu's mouth twice, but it had different meanings. They were in the ambiguous period at the beginning, and the I do at that time was more like I would like to be your girlfriend. Now they are in the reconciliation period, and the I do at this time is more like Pei Jingshu saying I am willing to forgive you. It's a bit of a routine. Smelly straight man. Someone at the scene called Gu Huiyan like this, except for the word stench. Sometimes, some straight men just have certain points in their hearts that they must get over, and Gu Huiyan is a typical example of them. The audience all wanted to say that this is the kind of person who should be caught as a model. It would not be an exaggeration to kill him. Haha. The funny thing is that Gu Huiyan, the old man, is smiling quite happily. Under the brim of his grey hat, his face also has a smile that many viewers are familiar with. Perhaps it was true that many people were scolding him just now, but seeing him smiling so happily, many viewers also laughed helplessly. It's been half a year. Pei Ban Takes Care of CP has been more than half a year since the breakup incident began. In the past 6 months or so, Pei Jingshu has had her hair cut short and left the country. She has been in poor condition. She was already very thin and almost skinny. The voices of passers-by were filled with distress. Gu Huiyan was even worse. Although he had completely withdrawn from the audience's sight, it was clear that no one was planning to let him go. From the beginning of the incident, he was scolded until the New Year's Eve some time ago. He was unable to attend his friend's wedding. In the first few months, he even had a family. I didn't dare to go back, and I would be scolded if I went out to have dinner with friends. In this way, they torture each other and the entire audience. Now, when Pei Ban takes care of CP gets back together, when they sing together on the stage again, when their faces appear on the big screen at the same time again, everyone sincerely wishes them well. At the moment when I sang Want to See You, and at the end when everyone except Gu Huiyan sang I Do, it would actually be good if it ended like this. The moment the picture is frozen, it lasts forever. Aren't our hours up yet? It is worth mentioning that after singing Want to See You, it was probably a deliberate attempt to create a show effect, and it seemed like a true portrayal. Gu Huiyan asked the staff in the audience and said, "Hey, I don't want to sing anymore. I can't stay here for a second anymore." He acted like he was in a hurry to leave, as if he was about to rush off the stage and ask someone to drive to Pei Jingshu. Ha ha ha. Many viewers laughed. Of course, the many viewers here refer more to Pei Jingshu. Gu Huiyan sighed. "You boy. Good guy, you're going to abandon your brothers when you're done with them, right? 6, as expected of you. Go away and eat everything inside and outside. Crazy. Now you guys are not used to Gu Huiyan at all, and they will scold you whenever you want. MD paid for the tickets to come to your concert. Is it okay if you want to leave early?" Both sides, polarized. The harder Gu Huiyan scolded, the louder Pei Jingshu laughed next door. "No. Can you give me some face?" Gu Huiyan couldn't hold himself any longer and couldn't help but say. "You ask people across the street to listen to what you are talking about, and you still have fans." At this time, a big brother in the audience said, "I treat you as a brother, but you didn't even tell your brothers what you whispered just now." As soon as these words came out, puff. Ha ha ha. The whole audience burst into laughter again. To be honest, the audience who bought Gu Huiyan's in-field tickets tonight were really value for money, because the performance of the in-field show was really dense. The venue where his concert was held was very large, and many of the audience outside were confused. "I can't hear what's being said here." Of course, it's not that many outfield spectators can't afford the money, but they really can't get in-field tickets. Hang up. Pei Jingshu's face was red, but her eyes were not so red anymore. She said to Gu Huiyan on the big screen, "Watch out for overtime fines." As soon as the statement came out, Gu Huiyan. Aim. Old Liu's face darkened. Ah ha ha. The audience laughed. Someone said, "Sister Pei is so real." The reason she asked Gu Huiyan to hang up the video call was because she was afraid that he would be fined for overtime. Of course, some people say, "She knows how to run a household and is a good wife and mother." These words were said by Pei Jingshu, who was in the audience. Pei Jingshu was not a girl who could listen to such words. Within a few seconds after hearing these words, her pretty face turned red. The same as the red apple. "Wait for me. I'll come over as soon as this is over." Gu Huiyan didn't speak into the microphone, but into the mobile phone. Pei Jingshu nodded lightly and hummed softly. "Some tenderness, a lot." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Buletin Shi Swan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 343. Gulalu, you kid, I'm so. After hanging up the phone and video, Gu Huiyan's side was full of curses again. This old man didn't let them listen even after his death. He still whispered on the phone. Why the hell didn't he treat the audience as a human being? You, beep 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 beep. A baby nanny battle is taking place at Gu Huiyan's concert. In comparison, Pei Jingshu's side seems much more lively. Oh. We're back together. Congratulations. Haha. Because Pei Ban takes care of CP reunited after a long absence, many people in the audience were booing. The funny thing was that someone actually shouted congratulations, which caused a burst of laughter. The atmosphere at the scene was extremely good. Pei Jingshu is always thin-skinned. Being teased by so many people will inevitably make her blush. Occasionally, when the camera is on her, she can be seen avoiding the camera. Dong dong. Fortunately, the accompanist teacher gave her face and played the melody of the next song at this time, which seemed to help Pei Jingshu out of trouble. But what is surprising is that after hearing the melody, Pei Jingshu, who was in the center of the stage, took the microphone and said to the band teacher, "Let's change the song." The accompaniment stopped abruptly, and the accompaniment teacher looked at Pei Jingshu in confusion. His eyes seemed to say, "Are you serious about changing songs at the last minute?" Usually the song list for a concert is arranged in advance, and Gu Huiyan was delayed a lot. Now it's really easy to get fined for overtime when changing songs. Many viewers in the audience also had questions, and had no idea what Pei Jingshu meant. But just when Pei Jingshu said the changed song title, everyone couldn't help but get excited again. At that time, the big screen camera was given to Pei Jingshu, and she might not have Gu Huiyan accompanying her in the camera, but her face could hold up the scene no matter what. She was a little shy after being teased by the audience, her pretty face was slightly red, and there seemed to be some dried tears in the corners of her eyes, but Pei Jingshu's condition seemed much better than before. It was very cold, and she was wearing very thin clothes, but she still squeezed in as much as possible. Put on a smile and say to the band teacher, the camera, and all the audience, "Let's sing Meet. The words just fell. Oh. Ah. The entire audience immediately entered the scene of crying ghosts and howling wolves. "No, Sister Pei. Hey, we just got back together and we should sing something sweet, right? Good guy, if I had known better, I wouldn't have let you two get back together. Speaking of which, this doesn't mean we won't get back together if we don't let them get back together. Haha." At this moment, the fear that was once dominated by Tang Tang, who said Pei Ban takes care of CP, enveloped everyone again. "As soon as we get back together, we need to sprinkle some sugar. Is this true? Especially this candy, it was sprinkled from Pei Jingshu. You know, after the breakup, Pei Jingshu deliberately avoided singing songs related to Gu Huiyan in public, especially some famous songs such as Little Lucky, Meeting, Together no matter how far away. The other two songs are occasionally sung. After all, these two songs are named on some occasions. They are indeed Pei Jingshu's masterpieces, but Meet is a song that no one has seen Pei Jingshu sing once since the breakup. In fact, it's normal when you think about it. After all, the other two songs are also a bit bitter. It's normal to sing bitter songs after a breakup. I'm just afraid that I'll sing sweet songs after a breakup. Meeting was, after all, a work produced by Pei Jingshu and Gu Huiyan when they were in love. How could you ask Pei Jingshu to sing Meet in such a state? Because she didn't know in advance that Gu Huiyan had arranged such a surprise for her, Pei Jingshu didn't put Meet into the playlist at all when she arranged the concert playlist. She had no intention of singing Meet. But now, isn't this, they all announced their reunion in a high-profile manner in front of 30 to 40,000 people at the scene. In such an atmosphere now, why is it inappropriate to sing a song Meet? When mentioning this matter, Pei Jingshu couldn't help but want to complain about her sister and her assistant. She asked why her sister and her assistant strongly suggested that she add Meet to the playlist when they decided on the concert playlist some time ago. I have been making trouble for a long time just waiting here. At that time, they said it was because the song was very popular and fans liked to listen to it, but now that they think about it, it was all to cover for Gu Huiyan. Pei Jingshu still hasn't figured out how Gu Huiyan, the old man, instigated rebellion against her sister and the rest of her team. Dong dong. Although meeting was not arranged in advance, if you say that the band teacher at Pei Jingshu's concert can't play this song, you are really farting. Meet is a famous song, comparable to Sunny Day. In preparation for Pei Jingshu's concert, who wouldn't practice this song? Oh! At this moment, the atmosphere at Pei Jingshu's concert reached a climax. Everyone waved their cyan glow sticks and shouted excitedly. No one knows how much goosebumps arose on their bodies when the prelude to Meet came together. Speaking of which, Gu Huiyan just came as a guest for several songs, singing Tenderness, Light Chaser, Don't Think of Me, and Want to See You, so the atmosphere here is actually a bit heated up by Gu Huiyan. In this case, if the quality of the next song Pei Jingshu sings is not so high, it will easily fail to catch the spotlight. And Pei Jingshu is very smart. She knows very well that among her many works, probably only the song Meeting written by that guy for her has the ability to attract all fans and fans as soon as the prelude is played. The ability to pull her back. Well. She smiled bitterly, sighed, and shook her head slightly. With slender hands, she held the earrings and put them on her ears. Listening to the melody of Meet, her eyes sparkled. In the end. Still can't escape that enemy. Gu Huiyan sighed. Gu Huiyan, you uncle. You, beep 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 beep. There was still a lot of swearing everywhere. Oh, okay, don't even scream. Gu Huiyan couldn't hold himself any longer, rolled his eyes and said. I won't sing any more if I scold you. Ha ha. The audience then laughed and gave him some face. Band teacher, should we consider changing the song? At this moment, Gu Huiyan glanced at the band teacher. At that time, the cameras showed several band teachers, and the audience would find confused written all over their faces. There was a music director among them, named Zhang Zhou. This teacher rolled his eyes and shouted at Gu Huiyan. How many songs have you changed? To be honest, Gu Huiyan really changed songs impromptu a lot this time, especially when connecting with Pei Jingshu. Light Chaser and Tenderness were arranged, but Don't Think of Me and Want to See You is not the case. The band doesn't care, after all, if Gu Huiyan doesn't go with the arrangement, then let him perform the piano solo by himself. But now he is discussing with the band teacher. To put it bluntly, he just wants the band to cooperate. But the problem is that the song he changed has most likely not been rehearsed by the band. If you ask someone to come in at last minute, isn't this going to cause trouble? Ahaha. Many in the audience went crazy with joy, but they didn't expect that the band would complain so much about Gu Huiyan. What's even more funny is that Gu Huiyan didn't even say a word of nonsense. He just said, if you do this, I'll pay more. You. However, the music director Zhang Zhou, who was angry just now, suddenly became silent and asked. How much more? Puff. Ahahaha. Many spectators who heard the conversation between the two in the field went crazy with laughter. If there was a barrage at this time, there would be a very classic sentence. Band teacher, we don't want this either, mainly because he gives too much. Haha. There was a burst of laughter in the venue, and Gu Huiyan didn't talk nonsense and just said that everyone should be given a big red envelope. It's just to create a show effect, so the band teacher naturally won't go too far. Teacher Zhang Zhou asked. What song? Gu Huiyan said nothing and put his hand directly on the piano. At that time, Many people thought that Gu Huiyan was not satisfied with the next song arranged in advance and wanted to temporarily change to another song in his own work, and they also speculated. But to be honest, many people didn't guess it. The main reason was that the concert entered the second half and it was almost the end of the last few songs. Gu Huiyan basically sang all the songs that should be sung. The rest is nothing more than a diao, together no matter how far away, the name engraved in my heart, stranded, are you still afraid of heavy rain and a few new songs. In fact, these songs, except for together no matter how far away, are not suitable for the next show. So it's actually not easy to guess. Many viewers also guessed together no matter how far away. The audience at the scene basically chose from Gu Huiyan's works, so it can be regarded as a framework, framed. They easily ignored the fact that among the songs written by Gu Huiyan, there were also some songs for others. Dong dong dong. While everyone was guessing, Gu Huiyan had already gently played a few notes and a melody. That melody is extremely smooth, just like many of the works of prelude killer Gu Huiyan. It is very recognizable, but it is not Gu Huiyan who really made the song famous. At the scene, when Gu Huiyan's melody played, it immediately exploded. Okay. Walk. Good guy. You boy. You know how to choose songs. No, can you sing this song? Nonsense, what he wrote must have copyright. Besides, will Pei Jingshu ask for the copyright from him? Oh. Yes, he could play the melody of mead. Someone shouted. You two really have a tacit understanding. Someone at the scene had not hung up the call with Pei Jingshu next door, so they actually knew that Pei Jingshu's next song was meeting. The two of them just happened to choose the song meet at the same time without any discussion. Huh? Really? Gu Huiyan was quite surprised. It was just a whim. He never thought that Pei Jingshu would also sing meet. However, this seems to be just right. You two, ouch. The word spread, and many people in the venue knew that Pei Jingshu was also singing mead. To be honest, everyone thought that the two of them were part of the script. MD, what a coincidence. Or is it that the tacit understanding between the two of them is so strong? Hey. It can't be this sweet. Haha. Gu Huiyan grinned, the band teacher looked helpless, and the music director Zhang Zhou's mouth twitched and said with a heart, look back, your red envelope is too small, do you think we can let you go? The band really wants to kill Gu Huiyan. You said that this old man would just change the song on the spot. He could just change it to his own song, but he has to sing someone else's song. Please. That's Pei Jingshu's song. She changed the song temporarily, because it was her own song and the band teacher had prepared it in advance, so it was not a big problem. But this is not Gu Huiyan's song. His band is not prepared and can only cooperate temporarily. Aren't you being rude? They can only bite the bullet. At that time, the director may have thought it was coke, so the camera showed the band, and you can see that the expressions of the drummer, keyboardist, and guitarist were all not very good looking. There was a knife hidden in Gu Huiyan's eyes. Ah. The audience laughed like crazy, thinking that Gu Huiyan was really capable of seeking death. In the midst of laughter, Gu Huiyan played and sang. Pei Jingshu on the other side also sang with a group of backup dancers. I heard winter leaving. I woke up in a certain month of a certain year. I think, I wait, I look forward to. The future cannot be arranged because of this. Before the first album was released and became a hit, before Sunny Day came out, people often said that Gu Huiyan gave his best creations to Pei Jingshu. At that time, the Diao and Want to See You he sang were not as good as the Little Lucky written for Pei Jingshu, but just the song Little Lucky brought huge influence to Pei Jingshu. Commercial value and industry status. Later, even though he had Sunny Day, he still wrote Meeting to Pei Jingshu. Who dares to say that Gu Huiyan is not good to Pei Jingshu? Who dares to say that all the sweets that have been sprinkled in Pei Ban takes care of CP are all fake and scripted? Now, when they sing the song Meeting written by Gu Huiyan and sung by Pei Jingshu together, that feeling becomes even more profound. On a cloudy day, in the evening, outside the car window, there is a person waiting for you in the future. Left, right, look ahead. Love has to turn a few corners before it comes. As an original singer, Pei Jingshu's nasal resonance characteristics can always interpret the song Meet vividly, and this song really suits her and Gu Huiyan at this moment. No matter it is cloudy or evening, whether it is windy or raining, thundering or snowing, there will always be someone waiting for you there in the future. Along the winding road, that love may take many turns, but in the end, it will come. Even if it goes far away, it will still come back. As they sang, "Whoever I meet, what kind of dialogue will there be? The person I'm waiting for, how far in the future is he? I hear the wind, coming from the subway and the sea of people. I stood in line, holding the number plate of love." 30 to 40,000 people at the concerts on both sides sang and shouted along, and all the goosebumps arose because of Pei Jingshu and Gu Huiyan on the stage. Because it is the original song, Pei Jingshu's side feels very authentic and everyone feels comfortable listening to it. Pei Jingshu doesn't like to show off her skills or change her tune. She always sits there quietly and uses her face and her voice conquers everyone. In comparison, Gu Huiyan is like another contrast. This kid always likes to show off his skills and change the key when singing some songs. In itself, because it was his first time as a creator to sing Meet, many viewers were very excited about it. If he changed his tune and showed off his skills, the feeling would be even stronger. But there is one thing to say. His singing is really good too. Although the song Meet is very popular, it doesn't have a high key, and it's not difficult to sing, but there really aren't many covers. The main reason is that Pei Jingshu's voice is so unique, and she has performed this song to a very high level. Her emotional resonance is not something that ordinary people can imitate. This kind of popular golden song is okay if you sing it well, but if you sing it poorly it will really ruin your reputation. The original song is really an insurmountable mountain. It is obvious that as the creator, Gu Huiyan understands the song as well as Pei Jingshu, and his voice recognition, timbre, and singing skills are no less than Pei Jingshu. So when he sings with a voice that sounds good in everything he sings, coupled with the freshness of singing for the first time, and the blessing of the story of Pei Ban takes care of CP who just got back together, many viewers will find it amazing. All in all, although the scenes on both sides were not connected, the atmosphere was full because of the song Meet. Many people's voices became hoarse, but they were sung to tears again. They cried and laughed at other times. They were also tortured quite a lot. Such an atmosphere will also affect Gu Huiyan as a singer. Some time ago, Gu Huiyan always came across some videos that were said to be the end of novels, such as The Quiet Depths of the Jungle, Tree-Lined Paths, Wheat Fields. Everything. It just has a great atmosphere. But you want Gu Huiyan to say, what does he think the end of the novel is? That's probably the scene in front of me. It was him and Pei Jingshu singing Meet at the same time. It's every note of the piano played by his fingertips. It was their concerts on both sides, with a combined total of 30,000 to 40,000 people's blazing eyes, hoarse shouts, and crazy waving light sticks. Also next are the lyrics they sang at their respective concerts. I fly forward, flying across a sea of time. We have also been hurt in love. I looked at the road, and the entrance to the dream was a little narrow. It's a beautiful accident, that I met you. One day. My answer. It will, reveal, open. Dong dong dong. Don't get me wrong, the piano outro is the end of the novel. Don't get me wrong, the story of Pei Ban taking care of CP is not over yet. Sprinkling sugar is just the beginning. Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Bulletin Shi Swan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 344. After singing Meet, Gu Huiyan's performance has come to an end. This performance was wonderful. Gu Huiyan basically sang all the songs that the audience wanted to hear. Gu Huiyan also gave the greatest sincerity to all the audiences who came to the scene, from the opening adapted version of Missing is a Disease to Sunny Day, Reverse War ignited the audience, and then the 4 new songs If I Can, Suddenly Miss You So Much, So What If You Lose and Win the World and Don't Think of Me. Just for these reasons, the ticket price of the audience who came to the scene today must have been worth it. Not to mention, they also witnessed the reunion of Pei Band Takes Care of CP and their joint performance of Want to See You. Of course, many people think that the most worthwhile thing is Gu Huiyan singing Meet. This is the first time that Gu Huiyan, a creator, has sung this song. It is very fresh and beautiful. Suck. I don't know if it was because of the rain before, but Gu Huiyan had a runny nose and didn't feel much in his throat. Because he was performing, he was in a very excited state, so he couldn't feel any physical discomfort. He feels that he is in good condition now and wants to continue singing. He also wants to finish singing quickly and go to see Pei Jingshu. The last song. Gu Huiyan has been sitting in front of the piano for a long time. After all, it is one of the universal instruments. He played several of Gu Huiyan's songs continuously. At this time, many musicians and teachers in the band were already preparing, and the field controller also secretly breathed a sigh of relief, saying that fortunately Gu Huiyan knew that the time was not over, and he also knew the last song. The last song they arranged was a duo. This song is quite meaningful to Gu Huiyan. It is also the first song of his debut. The ups and downs along the way can also be heard in this song. Some miniatures are quite suitable for ending. The band teacher is almost ready. Who knew that at this moment, Gu Huiyan suddenly grinned and said, "Let's change the song." The words just fell. Oh! Everyone at the scene started to cheer. After shouting until now, many of the audience's throats can hardly hold it anymore, but there is no way. Gu Huiyan's concert has too many famous scenes, and they really can't restrain their excitement. No, you. They were excited. The band teacher was all numb. Gu Huiyan, the old man, had changed songs on the spot once or twice. He had to change the last song. They were actually a little better. The most terrible thing was the field control. The songs for general performances, whether it was lighting, stage design, or camera positions, were all designed in advance during the rehearsal. If Gu Huiyan changed songs on the spot, those songs would basically be the same. None. The previous arrangements were all in vain. That's him. Many staff members backstage rolled their eyes. Gu Huiyan was the only one who had the ability to change songs on the spot. He could hold the whole audience together with just one instrument. For many singers, the performance basically requires lighting, stage design, and band to coordinate. All are indispensable. Without one, it will be monotonous. Gu Huiyan is good, I wish I could sing it myself. The crux of the matter is that the staff has absolutely no way to oppose him. There is no way, just look at how enthusiastic the 20,000 to 30,000 spectators are. If Gu Huiyan proposes such a suggestion, if they object, the 20,000 to 30,000 people will be able to help them on the spot. Let him be. Mother Zhang in the background laughed and shook her head. Now, everything has actually been settled. Gu Huiyan's turnaround battle has been won. He and Pei Jingshu have also reconciled, and the concert is even more complete. Finish. After this concert, Gu Huiyan will regain his status as the top music king, will return to the audience's side, and his career will enter its peak period. That being the case, after working so hard for the whole show, it's the last song. Let him sing whatever he wants to sing. The chief director at the scene rolled his eyes and said, "You are my mother. Gu Huiyan walked all this way, but without Zhang Dan, he might have been turned into a piece of charcoal and thrown into the coal pile. Oh! The shouts at the scene continued. Gu Huiyan felt sorry for everyone and couldn't help but say, "I always remember to go back and buy some pears to eat to moisten my throat." Ha ha! Everyone was amused, and a girl in the audience shouted, "You have a conscience." There was a burst of laughter. Gu Huiyan stopped inking, put his hands on the piano keys, and said, "This song should match tonight because it's called Rainy Night." After the words fell, Gu Huiyan no longer hesitated and played an extremely smooth melody. Dong dong. Gu Huiyan, who is nicknamed Prelude Killer, is really not a fool. The melody of Rainy Night is very smooth and very recognizable. As soon as it comes out, it will make people's eyes light up. I think of this song. Melody. Oh! Just hearing that melody, many people couldn't help but get goosebumps. All kinds of voices come and go. By the way, this is the 5th new song in this show, right? Oh my god, 5 new songs in one concert, it's so powerful. This is really worth it. Counting Rainy Night, Gu Huiyan has contributed 5 new songs to everyone tonight. The most important thing is that no matter which one of these 5 new songs is of high quality, any one of them can be the title song of a first-line singer's album. Among them, the song Suddenly Miss You So Much can be used in a certain way. In a sense, it is comparable to Sunny Day. At best, a concert only involves singing more than 20 songs, and Gu Huiyan sang nearly a quarter of the new songs this time. How can you not amaze the audience here? Before coming here, Gu Huiyan's concert tickets were sold at very high prices, and there were rumors that scalpers were selling them for tens or millions. Although there is suspicion of exaggeration, some people did spend tens of thousands to buy in-field tickets. At that time, they also wondered whether it was worth it. But now, if you ask them, they may not hesitate and tell you one word directly. Value. It's so worth it. At the end, Gu Huiyan used a new song, which is the most valuable thing. And in the midst of the amazing sound, Gu Huiyan sang while playing. He used his forgotten instincts to get so far. To this day, you still commemorate him. You are so tired from walking so slowly. Until today, he has not noticed it. The song Rainy Night fully brings out the advantages of Gu Huiyan's voice. When singing this song, Gu Huiyan's nasal resonance is obvious, giving people a very refreshing feeling. And the angle is quite tricky. The lyrics of the main song are completely from a third-person perspective, telling the story of 2 people. The him in the story is more like Gu Huiyan himself. I feel sorry for you, I don't know how to say goodbye. Let the past continue to play out. The sky above the memory is hovering stubbornly. That day, a rainy night. Your heart is completely broken. Let the rain quietly cover your tears. I won't ask, I won't tell you, you are too stupid. Soaked, I'll be here. Be with you. The air that has just rained always has a slightly moist smell, which is still obvious even in a crowded venue such as Gu Huiyan's concert, which can accommodate more than 40,000 people. Although there are many people and their body temperature drives up the temperature, when the rain falls, the damp smell will still penetrate people's noses. Some people like rainy days, some don't like it. Audiences who come to open-air concerts don't like rain even if they bring umbrellas. Who knows that when it rains in winter, it will be very cold if your clothes get wet. It's past 10 o'clock in the evening. Even in the south, the temperature in Suzhou will continue to drop after there is no sun at night. It rained in the middle and many people got wet. At this moment, as the night it was deep, the temperature dropped, and some spectators in the infield felt their hands and feet were cold. If it weren't for Gu Huiyan's performance that was so adrenaline-inducing, they would probably be shivering from the cold right now. Hoo hoo. The cold wind is blowing, and many people feel a little cold. But for some reason, everyone felt a very warm feeling when listening to Gu Huiyan's song Rainy Night. Someone said, "I can't believe he chose this song as the end of the concert. A Diao is indeed inspirational, but only powerful, but this song Rainy Night will give people warmth. In the cold winter nights of the 12th lunar month, what everyone needs is always warmth. Only." Occasionally, someone would look at Gu Huiyan, who was playing and singing alone with a piano on the stage, showing a somewhat distressed expression. Someone said, "The person who conveys warmth is alone." Yes. Gu Huiyan was always alone. This is like an established impression that he has left in everyone's mind. This is why, at the beginning of the concert, when he led a whole orchestra to sing "Missing is a Disease" in a shouting manner, many audience members would so gratifying. But Gu Huiyan can never get rid of this lonely habit. Because he wanted to convey warmth to everyone and sing a warm song at the end, he chose to let himself be alone to convey warmth to everyone. Realizing this, many fans actually shed tears. In this scene, the audience who came to the scene completely experienced the sincerity from Gu Huiyan. Not to mention the non-fans who became fans, even Xiao Hizi, this wave of people also chopped off chicken feet and became fans. And just when everyone felt sorry for Gu Huiyan and the song Rainy Night also entered the B section, the camera on the big screen suddenly showed the band teachers behind Gu Huiyan. In the camera, the music director Zhang Zhou was communicating with some of the musicians around him, especially the drummer. He was waving his hands as if to say, "Wait for me." Many people frowned, wondering what are these band teachers doing? It's the last song, there's nothing else to do without them, why are you still so busy? Just when they were confused, Gu Huiyan played his B section melody and entered the B section's main song. The moment he entered, dong dong dong, a few very rhythmic drum beats entered Gu Huiyan's song, along with some strings and guitars. At that moment, the camera showed the band teachers, and you could see that every musician was working together, playing the instruments in their hands, and contributing their part to Gu Huiyan's familiarity. When the music came in, and when the camera showed the band teachers and Gu Huiyan, many people couldn't help but get goosebumps. At that moment, in their eyes, Gu Huiyan was no longer alone, he was not only giving warmth to others, his band and his staff were also giving him warmth. At this moment, they truly realized their common warmth. Many people shed tears, especially some boys. At that moment, they had a picture in their minds, that kind of. In the anime, when the protagonist is being challenged by some powerful villains and is in a desperate situation, some more powerful friends suddenly appear and come to the rescue. This is a famous rescue scene. What boy can refuse such passion and romance? This is a passion that girls can't understand anyway. Not to mention them, even Gu Huiyan looked at the band in surprise after hearing the drum beat coming in from his ears. Teacher Zhang Zhou gave him a helpless look, which moved Gu Huiyan. They are a professional band, and everyone is a professional musician. Although they don't know the song Rainy Night, it is not difficult to judge the chords of this song by listening to the A section of the verse. It is said that it cooperates with Gu Huiyan. His piano music is so exaggerated that it wouldn't be a problem if he could use some universal chords to coordinate with Gu Huiyan's music using other instruments. Look. Over there with the drum beats are the most basic universal chords. Gu Huiyan was a little touched. Although they all used universal chords, as long as there were those sounds, he would feel that he was not alone. At that moment, everyone was warmed in a real sense. And Gu Huiyan had no time to be pretentious. He continued to sing. Like an actor who treats grief as a rehearsal. The day is tamed and the night is, but more violent. Like a fallen leaf flying yellow before falling. The heavier the emotion, the closer, to the ground. Oh my God. I don't know if there are more instruments when singing the B section, or if the lyrics in the B section are more artistic, neat, and poignant. The voice at the scene is getting louder and louder. The goosebumps on many people's bodies couldn't go away at all. During the whole concert, they kept going back and forth non-stop. After all, he is known as a copywriter killer. After Gu Huiyan's songs are released, he can always support a group of emo bloggers with just copywriting. Compared with Section A, Section B feels like the story in the song has completely kicked off. The lyrics have a sense of story and the metaphor is very appropriate, as if it wants to fully convey the most delicate emotions in everyone's heart. Interpretation is the same. The sound of music is powerful, and Gu Huiyan's voice is even more powerful. I feel sorry for you and won't stop. Can't live without, stubborn. Lies are easy to understand, but the truth is always difficult to face. On a rainy night, your whole heart. Silky and coherent, warm and inviting. People say that singing can convey warmth, and this is best explained by Gu Huiyan. The best thing about the song Rainy Night is that, except for the chorus on both sides, no lyrics are repeated. Listen, Gu Huiyan is still singing. On a clear night. Your heart finally fell asleep quietly. Let the moonlight quietly evaporate your tears. Don't ask anyone, don't advise you, just be smart. The rain stopped. I'm still here. Gu Huiyan's singing always gets the emotion just right. When singing the song Rainy Night, from the silky smoothness of the verse A to the explosive performance of the chorus, and then to the slow decline of the phrase I'm still here after the rain stops. It's obviously climbing, but it gives people a very comfortable feeling, as if they are slowly going up a gentle slope and then gliding down the gentle slope. As for the phrase I'm still here after the rain stops, when Gu Huiyan sang, he also waved to the audience. Yes. The rain stopped. The rain before had stopped long ago. But the breakup storm that enveloped him, Pei Jingshu, Shangzuoyan, Xylan, fans, and so many others seemed to have just stopped at this moment. Gu Huiyan's phrase I'm still here after the rain stops has a lot of connotations. For him, he is still here after the storm, and he is very happy. To the fans, supporters, and viewers, it's more like telling them that I'm always here. In the center of the huge stage of the concert, Gu Huiyan sat under the big screen and in front of the piano. Many fans will be very moved just by looking at that scene. They were very lucky that the storm did not completely make Gu Huiyan disappear from their sight, so that he could still sing for them here and bring everyone a wonderful performance and a funny show effect. At that moment, they warmed each other. Dong dong. The band teacher finally couldn't get into Gu Huiyan's melody. When the rest of the music disappeared, Gu Huiyan played the last verse and sang the last few lines to everyone, the warmest lyrics. Everyone will cry when they are hurt. After crying, don't deny the past. Happy, beautiful. They're all still here. Waiting for you. Gu Huiyan is still young and has not experienced much, but if you want to criticize him, it is estimated that many people will never be able to bear the horrific online reports Gu Huiyan has received in the past 6 months. And what moved everyone the most was that the person who should be the most reluctant, resentful, and quarrelsome and scolding was actually persuading everyone to be kind, giving everyone warmth, and making everyone hurt. After crying, he didn't stop crying. Deny the past. Just like Hokage, Naruto. He is the one who should be the dark one.